welcome everyone to Midland Community Stadium. My name is Dale Robbins along with Greg Sobey and Randy Boynton. The City Championship is what we'll bring you tonight on MCTV Channel 3. The Midland Chemics, overall 7-1, currently atop and tied in the Saginaw Valley League with a 5-1 mark, taking on their crosstown rivals, the H.H. Dow High School Chargers, 5-3 overall, and suffering 3 losses in a row, currently 4-2 in the Saginaw Valley League. Pitch it out. It's City Championship football, gentlemen, and Greg Sobey, Coach Frank Altamore, has his work cut out, but he's possibly got the strongest team that he's had in about a month.
Yeah, the tables have turned for the Dow Chargers the last couple weeks. Like you mentioned, they lost 3 games in a row. Well, they've got some of their players back tonight, some key players. Jason Falk will be starting at quarterback. He's missed a week. He was in a cast last week. He's coming back playing ball this week. But how effective are they going to be is the key. It's going to be up to Dow's defense really tonight. They're going to have to come out and they're going to have to stop Midland from sustaining such long drives and controlling the tempo of this game. That's going to be the key. Not just in stopping Midland, but Dow's defense has to give their offense the ball with good field position, so they don't have so much work to do tonight. If they can accomplish that, maybe even get a turnover or 2, or possibly score themselves, Dow's got a very good chance of winning this ball game tonight.
Randy, Coach Gary Joswiak told us that he feels he's comfortable going into the playoff, depending on the types of marks and points he gets from the AP poll writers. And he knows that tonight, in the meantime, is a very, very important ball game against, of course, always the tough cross team, Dow High Chargers.
Dow and Midland game is always a big game, and looking into the playoffs, it'd be nice for Midland to win the game and have upbeat going into the playoffs and being smart, and it always gives you something to brag about from years gone by when you win this game. Coach Josie does a great job on running the fundamentals. I mean, off tackle, up the middle, the pitch, the quick pitch. He doesn't do a lot of fancy things, but that's how he's always in a spot to make it to the playoffs every year, is that he does the fundamentals well, and he practices the kids on that all the time. And as again this year, if he wins this game, he's guaranteed to the playoffs and probably second place and has a home field advantage next week. And if he loses it, if a couple other teams loses, he's still in the playoffs, and that has to go a great job with the way he coaches and his players. His players get put out a lot this year for him. He had a lot of holes to fill at the beginning of the season. He didn't know how good he was going to be or what he was going to do, and here he is, 7-1 with 1 game to go, and it's a big city tournament. And it doesn't matter what the record says before this game, it's all out the window when these kids get all fired up for this game. It means a lot to them.
We are currently seeing the seniors, of course, from both teams. The seniors will be playing in their final game, the Midland Dow matchup, and as the night goes on, we'll make sure to pass along all the names and numbers of the seniors who are doing their last duties here at Midland Community Stadium, especially in this matchup. Tell you kind of where the history of this matchup lies, and it's been going on for 21 years. This is the 22nd annual matchup for the City Championship. Currently, Midland leading the overall series 17-4. Last year's score, if you forgot when MCTV brought it to you, it was a blowout, and Dow needed to, in order to throw a stick in the spokes of Coach Gary Joswiak, who eventually went on to be the state runner-up in Class A. Last year's score, Midland went out with the bang of the regular season, 42-7, the final just a year ago. And the last time Dow won it, 1988, and it was an 18-3 tally. So we've got to believe right now, Coach Gary Joswiak and both coaches, Frank Altamore made the comment, and we asked him earlier, you've almost had 2 seasons in one here, Frank. You were 5-0 and atop the #1 rankings in the Class A in this region. Since then, he's lost 3, and of course, the players that, the key people that went down for him, and it seems to be the focus of a lot of the press in that. And we are about ready to get things going here, and what he said is, Coach, hi Mom, what he said is that we're trying to get you in that point. is that, what was I saying? That camera, I'm all shook up.
Nobody really listening when you talk anyways. Midland's going to kick off the Dow to start this ball.
That's what we needed to say. Oh, the 2 seasons in one thing. And that's where he made the comment that this team, this Dow High team, still believes that they're the #1 team in the state of Michigan because of the jump they had and the type of athletes that they're working with. 3-0 loss. Like Randy said, he's got one of the hardest working teams that he's ever had. And after the first couple of losses, it would have been easy to tuck their chin and go home as a 17-year-old and say, well, no big deal, it's just high school football. Coach Altamore has not had that and doesn't want the sympathy of anyone because his kids believe they are the #1 team in the state. If Midland wins tonight, maybe a little realistic view on those youngsters' part, perhaps the better team will have won. But I'll tell you what, as he always does, Coach Frank Altamore will do everything humanly possible as a high school football coach to make sure it doesn't happen. We're about ready to get it underway here. Kicking off are the Midland Chemics, and fielded there by number 25 is Jason Jacobs, and Jacobs returns it on the right side. And forced out of bounds, but not until he crosses his own 40-yard line. Ridden out by the Chemics, making the hit defensively. Number 3, David Horning, drives Jacobs out of bounds. The Chargers to take over.
That's the kind of lift the Dow Charger football team needs. They come right out with good field position, ball sitting on their own 42. But that's a nice run back, gets an emotional lift, and Jason Falk coming out also is going to pump this team up tonight. It's good to see him back in the lineup for the Chargers.
It'll be Falk at quarterback. Tailback is Jason Jacobs, and Chris Parmalee now in his second week back. Nearly healthy as the handoff goes to Jacobs. Jacobs, a loss of about 2 yards as he tries to go over the right end. He's brought down there for a loss of 2, brings up a 2nd and 12. The remaining starters, number 2, Drew Samaki, will be starting as a wide receiver. John Herman is the center tonight. Damon Lyon and John Knoppick start at the guards for the Chargers, and the 2 tackles are Bob Murray and Scott Brooks. And at tight end is Mike Anderson. He'll wear number 88. Falk with the handoff, and
Chris Parmalee gets his first carry.
Nice run.
The Chargers pick up about 8. That'll bring up a 3rd down, 3rd and 4. The ball resting on their own 47-yard line, just underway from Midland Community Stadium. Randy, the difference too has been the defense has been such a strong point for the Chargers, especially with a lot of their offense lacking as far as the health of that. This Midland defense, bar none, is the #1 defense in the league, in the Saginaw Valley League. Is on a 3rd and medium type run. Falk is brought down, and he won't pick up the 1st down. He needed to get to the 48. But the Midland defense leading the Saginaw League. Taking a look at just some of the numbers where they're at defensively, they've only yielded 1,602 yards, or average about 200 a game over the 8-game length of the season right now, and leading in the yards allowed. But they've only given up 95 points, and a high snap handled there, nearly blocked by a good Midland rush after a bad snap. And just getting it off is Darren Vital, who's also back to doing kicking duties. He spent the middle 3rd this season, also injured.
That was a tremendous play by Mr. Vital right there. That could have been very costly if that ball gets over his head. Tremendous hands on Vital's part there to keep the ball in front of him and still get the kickoff with a good Midland rush coming in.
The Chemic offense takes the field. They'll take over possession on their own 36-yard line after the Vital punt.
Probably about 20-yard punt, but he did a good job just getting it away.
Quarterback John Dana calling the plays. We'll round out the starting offense for you here for the Midland Chemics visiting at Midland Community Stadium. They're taking on the visitor side. Dow High has the press box side for tonight's every other year alternating home team. Sean Raymond starts at left end. Left tackle is Cleo Glover. Left guard is Jason Hart. Corey Bergeron is centering tonight for Dana as Dana calls the play on a 2nd and 8. Handoff, this one going over the right side to number 16, B.J. Strotter. Strotter stopped after a pickup of just a couple.
Just like the early game jitters for them, they're probably a little too fired up to come out here and play sharp. And usually in a game like this, both sides are fired up, hitting hard, and just trying to hit people. And after a couple series, then it'll get down to some fundamental football.
Rounding out the continuing starters, going both ways is Dave Pietenpole. He'll be the right guard on the offense. Drops back to pass, passes up, a flag is thrown as Dana pulls the trigger. Looks that way for Scott Hobo. Probably a chuck after he passed the 5-yard limit off the line of scrimmage.
It was downfield a ways, I think it was.
Looks like Dallas Clapton's going to be against Midland here.
Against Midland.
Maybe some motion. We'll get a preliminary call for you. The starters, now we'll finish it for you. Right tackle is Scott Brown. Right end is Matt Wilczek. Scott Hobum is running the flanker position as Dow declines the flag.
That'll bring up a 4th down punting situation for the Chemics.
And quickly back, the Midland punting unit. Quick to take the snap. The boot is away, and Samaki lets it take one bounce, grabs his footing, now moves out to the right side. A nice hurdling jump to clear himself and gain himself about 3 yards, and Samaki's forced out of bounds at his own 35.
Nice play. Boy, he went up about 4 foot in the air on that. Jumped over top of that guy. That was a nice play, man.
A nice leap by Drew Samaki.
Well, this field condition is going to have a lot to do with the outcome of this ball game, I believe. The rain's held off a little bit, and I believe that's definitely in Dow's favor because they're more of a putting the ball in the air, passing type of ball club. And without this rain coming down, they'll be able to handle the ball just a little bit better.
Well, Greg, you made the comment, too, that in the bare spots that you'll spot about the football field after 8 weeks of high school football being played here in a row, the bare spots are slick as it gets. As dropped for a loss are the Chargers, a loss of about 2. The ball carrier was number 25, Jason Jacobs, out of his tailback position. That'll bring up a 2nd and 12.
Swarm of Midland Chemies were on them. That's why they're number 1. They all chase the ball. They all get to the ball. That's where Josie had his most experience coming back from last year's on defense, and it shows in the rankings.
Shows being number 1 defensively ranked in the Valley.
In the Valley, Dow currently the number 4 team overall on offense. They've ran 1,122 times versus their passing attempts, and that was when Falk was healthy. They passed for over 1,000 yards this year. Total points, they've generated 181, which again puts them in the number 4 spot after 8 weeks complete in the Saginaw Valley League.
It's going to be about 3rd and 9. Looks like it may be the first passing situation for Jason Falk and the Dow Chargers offense here.
It's deceiving from up here, and I guess that's maybe what makes you appreciate it when you're down chatting with the coaches, the way he snaps that ball off. He throws bullets.
He's got
hard.
His arm.
Is Blasey in there? See his number?
3rd and 9. We'll see if we can spot him for you, Rand. Falk over center in a straight drop back. He goes about a 7-step drop and a short screen over the side and working off the side and eluding one tackle, and
he's close
finally
to the first
run out
down.
of bounds is Jason Jacobs. I believe he picked it up. He needed to get to his 45, and it looks like he was forced out of bounds at about the 46. So beat it by a yard, and a nice hit in forcing him out of bounds was number 14 from his right corner position, Sam Norling. And it is a first down.
I think we'll see a lot of these short type of passes from Dow Chargers tonight as they try to eliminate Jason having to scramble so much in the backfield. There's a straight drop back screen pass there. And I think we'll see a lot more of that than having to do the sprint outs running and throwing on the same time.
Plus the wind's blowing right into their face from the looks of the flag. That flag's straight out.
Coming right at him. Falk and a handoff for Parmalee. Parmalee
breaks
go all the
way.
The side. One man beat, and he's going to go in. Dives in the end zone. Touchdown.
What an effort. Did you see him dive on that? Chris Parmalee.
Being chased by some 5 Chemics. Parmalee outruns him on the call, and the official right on the goal line gives Parmalee a touchdown. If we can see it on a great diving effort by Parmalee after he had his feet locked up. Parmalee extends his body trying to get the ball across the plane of the goal line, and it's a touchdown. The Chargers, with no flags, have drawn first here in the city championship at Midland Community Stadium.
Chris made the effort all on his own the last 4 yards there. Just a complete dive for the goal line. Knew right where he had to be for it.
That, folks, is after having sat for some 3 weeks right in the heart of the season. And Chris Parmalee showing that he's back for this one as the senior running back has struck. The extra point by Beidel is blocked. And a big block on the part of the Chemics.
Pole got it. Come right through the middle, right up the middle.
Yeah, he came through the line untouched there. And that may end up being a big play as we'll remember that play in the back of our minds here as we move on to the rest of this ball game here.
We're going to have that replay.
Well, here, Randy, let me hit the hit the fast forward and rewind and see if we can come up with that for you. We'll going to put again MCTV and somewhere around a dozen volunteers here to bring it to you. We'll pass their names along to you. And Chris Parmalee with 6:49 to play in the first quarter puts the Chargers on with a run of somewhere around 40 yards to break that one away as he went over the right side and found nothing but a hole in a quick spurt, and his knees didn't stop churning.
He looked healthy on that run. He had some tremendous speed down the right sideline. Outran the last 3 or 4 Chemics on his own and then dove for the end zone.
Excellent run.
That's the kind of big play the Chargers need to get some momentum going here. They, personally, a man-to-man, they feel that they are still the top team in the state. They've had some key injuries. They don't like to use that for. Here's the kickoff and a fumble on it.
A short kick mishandled and finally brought down on the return team as Craig Lewis, as making the stop for the Chargers is David Horning again on the kickoff team. The Chemics take over this time in this possession, trailing it 6-0.
Dow doesn't like to use the injuries as excuses or not, but it definitely affects your ball club when you have your key starters go down and you don't have the depth to bring in and back those players up. So that's a big strike for the Chargers early in the ball game.
The Chemics with possession, and this one working over the middle and diving and twisting and spinning to work his way through is B.J. Strotter. The Midland Chemics in their white jerseys, blue helmets, gold pants with blue stripes. The Chargers being the home team tonight in their forest green jerseys, gold helmets, gold pants. Setting the tempo, a rain most of the afternoon, stopped about supper time, began just about an hour before the game, and now has stopped for the opening quarter of tonight's contest. It was about a 2nd and 3. Midland again handing off to Strotter. Strotter up and near the line of scrimmage. We got an official timeout for a measurement.
Little short, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't. This one doesn't appear to have to be measured, really, did it?
Oh, not really. We've got the double pane glass. We might be off a little bit.
You guys usually call it anyway. A shot of the visiting side. I've got to believe, even with the weather, gentlemen, that we're somewhere around 7,000 to 8,000 folks here, as both sides are packed and a lot of standing room only seats left.
3rd and about a foot for a Chemic first down. Seeing a lot of linebacking stunning going on the Chargers defense as they attempt to shut down the Midland Chemic rushing.
Strotter needs 107 yards tonight, and he'll break that 1,000 yard for the season.
He is their leading rusher coming into tonight. 893 yards. He's been in the end zone carrying the ball for a touchdown 7 times on the 91 football campaign for Coach Gary Joswiak's Chemics. 7-1 are the Chemics. 5-1 in the Saginaw Valley lead, and Strotter is hit right now at the line of scrimmage. Standing him up right there, number 61 for the Chargers, in a great pop by Travis Suderman.
He may have lost a yard there.
They're going to measure it again.
They gave him a good mark, but he was hit in the backfield.
Yeah.
That's a good mark, I think.
Yeah, I think they got it on this one. I think he got his 3 inches he needed.
You are watching MCTV Channel 3 here in Midland, Midland's community television station. If you'd like to become an MCTV volunteer, we'd love to have you. But first, you're invited to our next orientation. That takes place Saturday, November 9th at 10 o'clock in the morning in the MCTV studio.
You can't count where they push him back. Oops, sorry, Dale.
That's okay, Rand. Matter of fact, I don't know the rest of those words, so why don't you pick it up right there? Is that
in the basement of the Grace A. Dow Library? Call 835-5252 for more information.
That's from memory too, Rand.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
Kemick get the first down, and on first down he picks up about 4 yards.
I won't step on Dale again if he makes me read all night long.
The toughest word there was basement. I was waiting for Rand to go, the cellar. Or the first floor. First level of the Grace A. Dow Memorial Library. 2nd and 5. The ball just past midfield. Ball resting on the Charger 47-yard line. Handoff goes left side of the Kemick offensive line.
B.J. Straughter.
Vargas made him stop there.
Jason DuBois also from his linebacking position, along with Vargas making the stop. Defensively on the field for the Chargers, Kenny White's defensive halfback, Tim Plum, safety, and he's been a key role, especially with the injuries that Coach Altamore worked with for the year. Plum stepped it up many notches to keep that defensive backfield consistent on the part of the Chargers. Handoff, this one goes right side and stood right straight up as Jason Birch coming from his left half.
Jason DuBois in on the tackle again, topping. Jason's a senior for the Dow Chargers. 5'10", 195.
Coach Altamore said he was going to do a lot of line stunting and blitzing and stuff, and it looks like it's paying off right now.
We're definitely seeing him approaching him at the line.
Yep.
Well, his key too, and he mentioned it, is that the ball control type offense, now that he has forced Midland into a punting position, Samaki drops back deep. The high snap is fielded there, and
nice kick.
Good kick away. A good kick put away by Chris Stanton. Rolls out of bounds. Check that, not out of bounds, but it did roll to a stop about the 14-yard line.
You know, you lose a couple ball players like the Chargers did, and here tonight they have Chris Parmley coming back, and he's going both ways out there.
A little bit of the heart mentioned that Altamore says this is no doubt one of the most competitive, deep-hearted young group of men that he's had an opportunity to work with, and he holds it in a high esteem, the group of youngsters, and seeing the output that they've put on all year long. In the face of glory and also in the face of discouragement, he says he's never had a better crew. On the keeper, a mix-up in the backfield, and Falk will tuck it in and try to at least get back to the line of scrimmage on the first down play. He perhaps did, as getting hauled off the pile defensively. Making the stop was John Banizak. And also in on the stop, number 3, Shad Jacobs, from his safety position.
You know, there's still so much at stake for both ball clubs. Now you got all the city pride, the city championship, Midland going to the playoffs, trying to get prepped for that situation. So it's just the competitiveness you'll see out here is just going to be at its highest level tonight.
In its 22nd year, this matchup, the Midland versus Dow. The handoff right back up the middle to Parmalee. Parmalee, back just, say, 5 minutes ago, ran it from 43 yards out for the first and only score of tonight's game. Pete and Pohl blocked the extra point attempt, and that's where our score stands, as you saw just moments ago. 6-0, the Chargers on top with just 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Part of our contingency here, the Dow High Marching Band. Stick around for halftime. Both the Midland High and Dow High marching bands will perform, along with,
go ahead, Dale,
with Greg Sovey, who will now
do my rendition.
Do your rendition of "I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas." I've heard you do it too. It's great.
I like Drew Samaki's haircut. Get a shot of that. That's great. I saw him down on the sideline. He has Dow written on the side of his head too.
Oh, does he? He's right down in the middle bottom of your screen wearing number 2 there.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm going to put the helmet back on at any moment, but Burr.
Big third down play here for the Dow Chargers as they a couple of first downs to get back some field position here against the Chemics.
3rd and 8 deep in their own territory. Ball is on their own 16-yard line. They need to get out somewhere around the 25, 24-yard line for a first down. And Falk now makes his way back to the huddle with instructions from Coach Gary Joswiak.
He's still running a little gingerly on that ankle when you see him coming in his lateral movements. It's just not.
You can't get up on his toes.
Yeah, it's not there from what we saw a couple weeks ago, but he's quite an athlete.
And for those of you folks at home testing me, of course, Jason would not go to Coach Gary Joswiak for instructions.
Oh, he's down, isn't he?
There's an example of the mud, and yes, the knee was down as he slipped on a bare spot.
That's what we were talking about. We noticed when we were down interviewing the coaches on the fields, where there's grass, the field's wet and it's slippery, but it's nowhere near as bad as when you find the bare spots. It's almost like a clay, and you just slip while you're walking.
Yeah, that's right there where they practice all the field goals and stuff is where he slipped at. Big mud spot.
Right down the center stripe of the field, if you will, if it went goal line to goal line. Of course, all the hash marks at about the same spot where the ball comes to rest on the yard markers.
Vital back to kick here for the Chargers from his own end zone.
A much better snap than he got a time ago, and I'll tell you what, Piedenpoel came right up and put another hand in his face. Dow downs it, but a short punt is considering the Chemics will take over this possession on the Dow high 30-yard line, and the Chargers trail it by a score of 6-0.
It's a big offensive possession here for the Midland Chemics round out this first quarter. They haven't been able to move the ball very well against the Charger defense yet. And then again, this is the first real good field position they've had this ball game.
Well, we'll see how quarterback John Dana handles the situation. Takes a snap, and the pitch comes this way to the right side to B.J. Strotter. Strotter works around his end and squirts out in a gain of about 6 as he makes his way inside the 25 to about the 24.
Nice hands on B.J. That was a low pitch he come up with her and made a loss into a gain there. That was a nice job on his part.
Driven out of bounds by Justin Burney, number 80. Justin is just a sophomore.
Yeah, BJ's that showed a good pair of hands there. The one nice thing with the pitch, it was low, but it was still in front of him. It kept the motion going forward.
2nd and 5, the Chemics with the ball on the Charger 25. Hand off to Strotter. Strotter works over the left side, and he runs into trouble in the middle. Jacobs in on the hit.
John Vargas also went on the tackle. Vargas, another senior, 6'2", 217 pounds, quite a force as a linebacker.
A team leader. Our first quarter play has come to a conclusion. The score, the Chargers 6, the Chemics 0. Everybody was expecting defense to be the difference in this ball game, Randy, and with the exception of the 43-yard run by Parmalee with 7 to play in the quarter, it really has been a battle of trying to obtain a first down.
The defenses are doing their job. They're holding it. They had one big play and it went all the way, and like Greg was saying earlier, that the defenses would give the offenses their field position, and right now Midland's defense is giving them field position. Midland to get back in this game, I think they have to go in and get some points on this drive.
Now, this is their first opportunity to have the ball really inside Dow's territory.
Well, the different strategy, if you will, that faces a head coach at this point at the end of a quarter. Now, Coach Gary Joswiak, who doesn't live by the pass but uses the pass to add to his running ball possession type ball game, is going into the wind, as is quarterback John Dana.
I think at this situation with a 3rd and 2, I think they're in a 2-down situation, so I'm sure they'll try to keep the ball on the ground and pound this in.
Dana with the handoff to Strotter, and Strotter's met at the line, breaks the first tackle, and is recaptured down in front by Brian Williams, the defensive end, and also in on the tackle, number 33, Andy Sexton, from his defensive half. First down, Chemics.
Nice second effort there. Shannon Smith had him in the backfield, just couldn't stop his legs from moving, and he pulled away and picked up the needed yards for the first down.
Strotter's tough up top, too. You've seen it so many times that you hit him high, and he bounces people off.
He's a strong kid.
They'll start from the left hash on the field. John Dana over center, takes the snap, and the play action, and works it off to Straughter, who is a cutback right over center, and picks up about 2. Inside the 20-yard line. Now the ball resting on the 17, brings up second down, and 2. Or a gain of 2 makes it 8.
They're splitting. Dow's splitting their guards out to the outside to the tackles, and
yeah, they're covering the slots a little bit there, taking it away. That's that part of that stunning they're talking about as they pull them in.
Clock running, 11 minutes to play in the first half. This pitch is thrown out on a short out pass to Hobum, and Scott couldn't get a handle on it. Kind of a quick throw, and well behind him was the pass from Dana.
I think Dana had a little more time to make that play work, and he rushed the throw a little bit.
Keeps it 8 to go, brings up a third down. Ball still on the 17. That's up the Chargers. And the Chemics would love to get on the board at this point to at least even it up with the touchdown. And Dana in the straight drop back, takes about 5 steps back, looking for a receiver, has him open and nearly intercepted and picked off by the Chargers. Tim Plum had a handle on it, but the pass falls incomplete, bringing up 4th down.
There's Plum and Vargas again with the coverage in the quick pass over the middle.
Field goal try.
The way that wind's blowing, this is going to be quite a long attempt.
Into the face.
5 yards.
Into a pretty stiff wind, as if looking at the flag, like Randy mentioned before, she's blowing right back into his face.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, this young man has a bolster of confidence. He won the first 3 ball games of the year, basically, for the Chemics with his foot in the final minutes. Loves to kick the ball. He's good from 45, 50 out. A squib on a bad snap, and this one's off the side of the foot. No good. A missed field goal. The Chargers still have the lead, and now the ball again after warding off a good Chemic drive with real good field position to take over on that drive.
That's a big defensive stance for the Chargers there. They had to punt from their own end zone there and gave Midland excellent field position, but the defense shut them down, held them to 2 first downs, and really did the job. Now, as Dow's offense comes back out with Jason Falk leading the way, we'll see what they can get something going here.
And the snap. Dana again has trouble with his footing.
Got a flag on the play.
Making the stop for the Chemics was Scott Brown out of his end position. We've got a penalty being chatted to the Midland Chemics about.
It's in the area of a holding call there. Pretty deep in their own territory to be self-destructing here a little bit. You got to watch out here for this offense.
I don't know if that was much of a holding. One of the 76 there, the 22. Chad Howie, the guy just laid on top of him. They called him for holding. I don't think that's much of a holding call. I don't like that call.
It's going to bring up a 1st and 20 for the Chargers. Ball resting on about their own 10-yard line.
Samaki and Swarthout are split both right and left wide.
Hand up the middle to Parmalee. Short gain.
I'm looking for 55, but we don't have a 55 on the program. We'll call him Kyle Nelson.
How about John Banaszak?
John Banaszak?
Is that for Midland?
Yeah.
Middle linebacker. That on there?
Brad goes, if he ain't on the program,
He ain't on the program, man.
he ain't using his name.
It's one of them pickup players.
Okay. I don't know how they do that.
John Banaszak, 55 for the Chemics on the stop. 2nd down and 18. Parmalee had a pickup of 2. This one to Parmalee again, off center. He'll pick up about another 3, maybe 4 yards, bring up a 3rd down, but still a long situation. We may see Jason go to the air.
A little conservative there on the 2 handoffs, but I'm sure they don't want to have a turnover late, right in their own, this deep in their own territory again. So try to ground out some yardage here. Try to pop a big one. 3rd and 14 for the Chargers.
Jason Falk, the senior quarterback, in his final Midland Dow matchup. And this is Chris Parmalee. Parmalee has his feet swept from underneath him. Number 63, coming from his linebacking position, is Petenpole and trips up Parmalee. Parmalee picks up about 5, but well short of what he needed. It'll bring up a 4th down and 10.
That was the same play they ran the touchdown on, and this time Petenpole got to him.
Entering the foot of Darren Beidel.
There it is.
High
Safety.
snap.
Get him. Get him 3. Get him. Touchdown. Get the ball. It's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Better to pick it up, fall on it for a safety.
It's a touchdown.
Yeah,
Touchdown.
Darren needed to fall on that ball right there and just take the 2 points into that circumstance. And of course, he's thinking quick out there, trying to get the ball out of the end zone. He attempted to kick it out, wasn't able to do it, and they fell on it for a touchdown. Big, costly turnover for the Chargers.
I think he thought it wouldn't mean nothing the way he was playing it.
See who covered it?
Yeah.
Who covered it?
I didn't get a number.
Number 3. I got the wrong program. You got all the
Shad
programs.
Jacobs.
You didn't even have a 55, Ren.
Well, yeah, someone gave me the wrong program. Where's Larry? Where's old Larry when you need him?
That's a 1973 roster.
A high snap
No
again,
wonder.
and this one's
It's no
mishandled.
good.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're tied at 6. The extra point is missed as it goes wide right. The fumble recovery in the end zone by Shad Jacobs off a bad punt snap. With 8:32 to play in the first half, our score is tied. The Chargers 6, the Chemic 6.
Well, that's a play where Darren, obviously you're going to learn from that certain circumstance there where he was unable to get the ball out of the end zone. But in that circumstance, if he falls on the ball and takes the 2 points, Dow can come out and get their free punt, still with a 6-2 lead. And I'm sure Coach Aldermore, knowing the kind of coaching staff they have over there, they're going to make sure he's learned that.
He's probably learning it right now if we get a good view of that. No doubt. I think he thought it was just going to be a dead ball, and they would get to free kick it. When you're 17, 18 years old, you don't think of everything all at once.
That's the second high snap from center that the Chargers had. He made a tremendous play earlier in the ball game to receive that snap and get the kick off. It was almost blocked, plus it was almost over his head, which would have cost the Chargers big field position. So that's something they're going to have to work on over here on the side. I don't know if it's a wet ball or what, but that's 2 high snaps. 6-6 ball game with 8:32 to play in the second quarter.
Turned into a good ball game. 2 big plays, and about now is when they'll start settling down and playing good football.
Samaki and Jacobs back for the Chargers.
Stanton in a low line drive kick. Handled there and taken around the outside. Jason Jacobs, and Jacobs gets the ball out to about the 36-yard line before he's brought down there
by Norling.
Norling in on the stop, and also making a good effort on the kickoff team was Sean Raymond.
Norling's a senior, 180 pounds, 6-footer.
That's something we keep mentioning, that this is the seniors' last ball game coming out here tonight. But you know how emotional this whole week of practice has had to be for both of these teams, as they know a lot of these guys may go on to play smaller college and whatnot, but a lot of them, this is their last football game ever. So you just know that is going to carry over in tonight's ball game, and you're seeing it with the way they're playing aggressive football.
Well, you take that memory and you jot it down in the archives of memory. You surround yourselves by about 8,000 folks who really are cheering for both ways, if you will, wanting good performances and no injuries as the pass is completed from Falk to Samaki.
This is kind of what I've been waiting to see, is the shotgun, so they don't have to run Jason so much from the pocket.
Yeah, it doesn't have to back up. I don't think he can do that real well.
Well, the big thing is, too, he slipped and he's not planning as firmly as he would like to.
He may not be able to on his left ankle there. He may not be able to put the pressure on it.
That was a pickup of 6 on the completed pass from Falk to Samaki. Brings up a 2nd and 4. The clock is running. 7:40 to play in the half, and a mix-up in the backfield. The handoff is made, however, and a gain of about 2. Parmalee, the ball carrier.
I don't think he ever handed the ball off, Dale. I think
Falk
kept it. Just kept the ball and kept running and followed Parmalee right through the hole.
Well, that's it then. I followed the lead man through the hole. Defensively, I'm burned.
You kind of see some of these things. We talk about the lack of games that these guys have been playing, and this is some of the timing things that you're seeing from these guys not being out here the last couple of weeks playing together. The timing's just not exactly where it needs to be.
Falk on the keeper picked up what he needed, and there's another keep. This one planned. The first down, he ends up at the 50-yard line. 1st and 10 Chargers.
Go ahead.
I lost my thought.
1st and 10 Chargers.
There you go.
Man, thanks.
He followed the center, John Harmon, right up the middle, who really exploded off the ball well for the Chargers.
Now, I watched Parmalee that time, and he never even came near the ball, so you knew I wasn't going to use his name through that hole.
Well, I knew you were lost when you couldn't use him.
1st and 10, that's the 50-yard line. The nose of the football lies on. 6:44 to play, first half. Our score's tied, 6-6. This handoff, and hammered, working over the left side. Number 25, the ball carrier. That's Jason Jacobs working off the right side.
Brought down by Dave Pietenpol for the Chemics.
I'd like to remind folks throughout the Midland community that MCTV, of course, will have all of the election results. Election night, that's coming up. Make sure to get out, and whichever way you vote, just cast it. It's the American way. November 5th, we'll have our final results of the Midland City Council election, all coming your way right here on MCTV.
2nd down 6. We got flags all over the place. Now doing a little celebrating.
But I don't think Midland touched anybody, did they? That's what they call it. Oh, I guess they call it.
They'll give it to them. You're right, Rand. There wasn't contact made unless it came on the interior line. I noticed right down here in the corner that on the quick jump, it seemed to have got back in plenty of time.
Did we get any note up here? I was looking across the field to the Midland Chemics band, and they've got signs saying "Good Luck Charger Band." Are they in some kind of competition coming up here? Or you know anything about anything like that?
Rand has all the inside scoops. He's the one asking and answering all the tough questions earlier.
And
I don't know much about the trombone, boys.
Well, just to let you know, Good Luck Dow Charger Band.
Yeah. And let us know if you're in the competition. We'll get you on MCTV and let the world know how you did, because the world turns into MCTV.
Parmalee, the ball carrier after the Falk handoff, right up where he needs to be for a first down. We'll see where the mark lies. And
no, it's got to get over the chalk line before it's a first down, because it started on the 50, remember?
Well, the nose, you're right, Rand. So what are we shy? We say 7-8 inches then.
Okay.
Well, you hate to hear when he's right, but it isn't the 50, it's the 40.
Well, it started on the 50. He was right.
Yeah.
Must be Friday and the first day of November.
How can you agree with Randy?
Well, look at the size difference. He's been correct all my life. Looks like he kept it, and Falk picked up a first down. This is...
You better check with Randy.
Boyd has it. He knew where the mark was on the 50
it's
to start with.
We're going to have a measurement.
Oh, Rand's got it.
Oh, that's the first down,
But,
The nose was right on the 50 to start the series, and this is better than half over. He's got it, Randy guesses, by about 3-4 inches.
Yeah.
Now there's the Midland band, and they don't have their sign up any longer.
Midland fields are marked the straightest.
By about 3 or 4 inches, gets a first down. Good call, Rand.
The straightest fields on lines, cross lines that I've seen.
Is that right?
Yeah. You know,
there's a picture that the fans can attest to that fact, that they're pretty straight. That's incredible.
You look at some of them; they're a little wavy. You know.
Thanks for bringing that out, Randy.
We invite you to stick around.
That's a good job by the Midland High ground crew.
Invite you to stick around for halftime. We'll bring you the halftime festivities in the city championship matchup. The bands will both perform.
Parmalee hit right at the line of scrimmage by Sean Raymond.
Also our halftime guest, if I can round him up long enough from his pen in hand writer's garret just down the press box way, Chris Stevens has been invited to join us. We'll take a look at some of the print media's impressions on the 91 football campaign and where this season is going for a lot of the teams active in the state of Michigan playoff, which will begin in just a few weeks.
Slappy.
Matter of fact, November 3rd, the final ratings will come out for all of the high school activity.
Second down and 11 for the Chargers.
Falk and again can't get it away, and he pushes.
Oh, you got to go down with that ankle. Oh, that could be 15.
Damon Lyon.
Give it to him, are they?
Damon Lyon had him wrapped up, going nowhere. Plenty of whistles prior to Falk going to the ground.
Along with Scott Brown in on the tackle for the Chemics. 3rd and 10.
3:47 to play. Our score 6-6. Parmalee drew first offensive scoring opportunities. That came back with 6:45 in the first quarter. He had a 43-yard touchdown run. Blocked extra point on the part of the Chemics made it 6-0. It remained that way until 8:32 to play here in the second quarter on a fumble recovery in the end zone on a bad snap. Shad Jacobs throws that one up and it bounces off a shoulder pad. Pass intended there for number 25, Jason Jacobs. Incomplete. And brings up a 4th and 10, and the Chargers will boot it as deep as they possibly can into the Midland end.
Sean Raymond really put the pressure on Falk that time.
That pass was close to being picked off.
Yeah, it hit somebody in the shoulder pads.
Yeah, had a little bit of a delayed blitz there.
Yeah. Looked like they were trying to set up a center screen a little bit, but.
Vital is back. This is again a high snap, and he's 2 out of 3.
Oh, no.
He started thinking about it. He's favoring his.
There's a fumble. It's off his leg. This could be Charger ball.
I think Dow got it. 34. I think 34 got it for Dow.
We'll see the call.
Unless he went out of bounds.
They're pointing the way of the Chemics. The Chemics with the ball.
Chemics got lucky.
On their own 40 is where the punt. You can see Vital doing some thinking about 3 bad snaps in a row. One of them cost the Chargers some points on the board. Certainly not his fault. That's coming from the center snap. And Vital again went up for it. Came down with it. The ball basically punted straight up in the air.
The defensive players didn't know where that ball was because there was no one there to recover it after it hit his leg. Everyone was going upfield for the punt.
Right. Parmalee did a good job of finding the ball, and he almost had it back for Dow.
He did. Dana, hand off to Strotter. And he, too, as most of the Chemic offense has been all quarter and half long, met at the line of scrimmage for no gain. 2nd and maybe 9.5.
Travis Suderman, along with Mr. Vargas again.
The H.H. Dow High School Marching Band preparing to take halftime places here on MCTV.
Travis is only an 11th grader at 2 1/4. It's a big 11th grader now.
John Dana over center. This handoff going over the right side, working it that way, and
Jason Birch
finally brought down is Birch. Kaminsky making the tackle, and also in there was Lyon again.
Well, this is the kind of game you had to imagine we'd see with the field conditions the way they are, a defensive struggle back and forth here in between the two 30-yard lines of the field.
Clock is running, under 2 to play, first half, 1:50 to play. Ball resting on the 44-yard line of their own. The Chemics with possession. This pitch goes right to B.J. Strotter. He hits a block, forced out of bounds to stop the clock. Picks up plenty in a first down.
Number 12.
Driven out of bounds by Tim Plum from his safety position, and no doubt if he gets by Plum, he's making his way to end zone territory, is B.J. Strotter.
That was 6 if he gets by Plum. Plum did a great job at getting him out of bounds there.
Chemics now enter Charger territory. The clock is stopped at 1:42. Our score, 6-6.
Got lots of time. Midland's got all 3 of their timeouts left, so they have lots of time to take her down there.
Got Holbom in the lower part of your screen here as he comes out. Hand off to Strotter.
Strotter gets the carry and a hurdle, gets over top, drags a defender about 3 or 4 yards, and finally Vargas wraps him up long enough to bring him down, but he's again right out near first down territory. 2nd and 1. The ball comfortably on the 35-yard line, and the Chemics in a drive.
Chuck Chisholm into the ball game for the Dow Chargers.
Reading something, changing a call perhaps, is Dana from his quarterback position. And a long count, hoping to draw an offsides. Didn't. This to Birch. Birch again working over the right side. He's met there by a lot of Dow defense. I see Jacobs in on the tackle. Also Vargas. Also dragging his way out of the pile is Greg Kaminsky from his tackle position.
Chemics will take their first time out, I believe, of the half.
If they still got a minute to go, 55 seconds.
Yeah, there's plenty of time left.
We need to get a first down here.
This Midland Dow High School football game is being cablecast on MCTV Channel 3 in Midland, and it's being shown on the following dates and times. So get your paper and pencil ready, as Dale normally says, because we can't tape these for you or something like that.
You don't have enough
be
VCRs.
ready to go. Friday night, tonight, November 1st at midnight. Saturday and Sunday, the 2nd and 3rd, 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 10 p.m. each day. Monday and Tuesday, the 4th and 5th at 7 p.m. Wednesday, November 6th at 8:30 a.m. Please make sure to set your VCRs. MCTV cannot make a copy for you. Turn out the... No, that's at the end.
That's at the end of this. Andy.
That was his practice verse.
Yeah, just tuning them up.
55 to play. That's seconds here in the first half of play. Our score is 6-6. Chemics with the ball. They're on the Charger 35-yard line. After the timeout, a 3rd and 1. Handoff to Straughter. Straughter is stopped in the backfield by the Charger defense, swarming and wrapping him up around the ankles.
Ernie Malzahn. Coach Ernie Malzahn.
Another timeout for Midland.
Vargas wraps him up. Straughter's for a loss. That'll bring up a loss of 1 and a 4th and 2.
You can see both coaches coming out. Josiak for the offensive side of the Chemics and Ernie Malzahn for the Dow defense. Defensive coordinator for the Chargers. Had the right call that time.
The defense had the right call that time. The offense, we're zeroing in on a, green and yellow stripe.
Yep.
Down there. We can't see her.
No, she didn't stay on screen too long, did she?
No.
She's out of here. I like the hairstyle.
Yeah, very good for the Dow.
Was it a Charger fan, you think?
I believe that was a Charger fan from this point of view. You can see Coach Josie's wants to win this when he called timeout. 4th, and he still needs 2 yards to get a first down.
Well, those kids coming out there helping Malzahn call the next defensive play. Sharon Water. Obum in motion coming right at your screen. Dana pitches to BJ. He's got some room. He'll get the first down and knocked out of bounds to stop the clock with 40 seconds to play.
That was a little different play. This part, usually they run right to that flanker and ran away.
Yeah, ran around the outside on the short side of the field.
He is so explosive once he busts through both the offensive and defensive line of scrimmage. Straughter, once he makes that turn to get to the corner, which it seems to be running evenly paced with the defense that's trying to find the line of pursuit, he makes that corner and just picks it up and gains half a yard per step, it seems like, in his explosiveness. 1st and 10, the ball on the 30. We've got a flag in the backfield of the Charger defense is where that one came from.
I think Midland's got 12 guys on there. I've seen 2 guys come in and only 1 walk off.
Timeout Dow. Perhaps Coach Frank Altimore saw something defensively.
They can't call a timeout.
They're going to wave the flag off here. No penalty. I think the Chemics still are going to have to pick up, 15 to 20 yards here to get into Stanton's field goal range. He shanked the first one, but he's got a good leg on him. Like Dale mentioned earlier, he's won maybe 3 ball games for him this year.
First 3 games he won in the last
late
second
in the ball game.
Time.
So the pressure surely doesn't get to him.
Well, you're in a situation, too, at the change of the quarters where that wind is deceiving because we haven't had the rain that was forecast for tonight, but the wind has got our Old Glory just flat out and pointing right at the stands, and there's plenty of wind. And with the conditions of the footing, we've seen Falk at his quarterback position on a drop back not have the steadiness and position with the slip response. You've got to believe as a place kicker, all of that stuff comes into play, so conditions will play a major role, too.
And it's gotten cold out there, and it's hard to keep your foot warm in this kind of weather.
There's our wind out of the west. 1st and 10 after the Dow timeout. John Dana over center. Straight drop back. Cutting across as Samaki falls and check it. Intended for Hobum. Scott got hung up, tried to make a cut in as he's running a sideline pattern. Tried to cut back across the field, lost his footing. By that time, John was planning on releasing the pass.
Dow's defense did a good job. They had everybody covered. Dana didn't have anyone really to throw it to. They were all covered. He had 4 guys in the pattern, and someone was by every one of them. So that was a good job by Dow's defensive backs.
35 seconds to play, and a screen setting up big time. It's complete to Strutter, and read very, very well. Vargas breaks it up, also coming across the top. Brian Williams, defensive end, read it. Vargas got in and mixed it up. Strutter got back about a 3-yard gain, perhaps, from the original line of scrimmage. It'll bring up a third, and let's call it 7.
Brian Williams comes from his defensive end position, 6'2", 190 senior for the Chargers, playing in his last high school football game tonight. Hobum's definitely a threat in this kind of situation. I'm looking at the statistics here for the Valley League. He's 4th in receiving, 4th in touchdown receptions, so he definitely can go long here for the Midland Chemics.
Yeah, they have him as the number 6 man here, too. Noticed he has total points in scoring. He's got 42 points, 7 of those from the touchdowns Greg mentioned. So he knows how to come up with the catch to make the play. Our halftime events coming your way in some 21 seconds.
Well, if Josie has any trick plays, this is right where we'll see one.
Shot of Frank Altamore, as you know, he was thinking about defensively what he needs to do to keep Midland right where they're at. He doesn't want to give them the cushion to get in near the 20-yard line, which is where, you know, Stanton would feel real comfortable to put the boot to it, even though he missed one from some 30 yards out earlier in the quarter. Straight drop back. We've got a flag in the backfield as Dana looks and passes.
Incomplete.
Had it in his hands, couldn't come away with it.
Good sportsmanship to help each other up off the wet ground.
Scott Hobum was hit extremely hard by number 12 right at the time he put his hands on it. Tim Plum in a great defensive play to bust that completed pass, which it looked to be, and make it incomplete.
I'm trying to see what kind of penalty we had here.
It was declined, whatever it was, bringing up a 4th down and 7 for the Chemics.
It'd be about a 47-yarder if, in fact, Coach Gary Joswiak decided to go that route. He's going to put it to the offensive unit versus the field goal unit. Brings John Dana and the rest of the offense to the line. 14 seconds to play in the half, a 4th and 7.
Ken Graff, Sean Raymond, and Hobum are the wideouts. Is he going to put it up?
Dana's hit as he releases. Pass is complete and driven out of bounds with 6 seconds left on the clock. The pass
Matt Wilczek comes up with it. That's going to get him in field goal range here.
Wilczek, will they run a play for a 6-point lead or take a field goal opportunity with 6 ticks remaining in the half?
They're going to throw the ball on the ground.
Stop the clock, allow their unit to get on, or at least the time to get the play in.
And the clock begins to roll. We're at 3 seconds. He's not going to get the play off. It's going to run out.
The clock stops with a second. What do we have?
Timeout. Dow.
No.
Why would the Chargers call timeout with 1 second left? Why would the Chargers call timeout?
They had 12 guys on the field, I think. Boy, I don't know.
Coach Malzahn right out there in the thick of that. He'll figure it out, no doubt. 1 second remaining. Our score is tied, 6-6. That second remaining in the first half.
I don't even think they had a timeout left, didn't it? Didn't they use their 3 timeouts before?
No, I think they had 1 left, but I'm really confused as why Dow would want to stop the clock. They couldn't get the play off, and they give Midland the chance to come out now and kick the field goal.
Unless Randy's right in the notion that they may have had too many guys on the field. But however, no one has come off to show that the number was greater than what...
Two key plays for the Dow Chargers in this first half so far. The high snap for Midland's touchdown. They haven't been able to get much offense. This is their first real sustained drive of the ball game. And then a critical timeout called.
They're not going to go for a field goal here neither. They're going for 6.
First down. Doesn't matter. 1 second left in the half. The ball's on the 4-yard line. John Dana. It's B.J. Strutter, lone back, set back in the backfield. Dana takes a snap, and a pitch goes to Strutter, right side. Strutter looking for a corner. He gets blocked, and a great defensive play by the Chargers as Jacob forces him out of bounds to end the half. Exactly as we promised, ladies and gentlemen, city championship football from Midland, Michigan. Our score at the half, the Chargers 6, the Chemics 6, and I'm impressed, guys.
Very good ball game so far.
It's exactly what you thought was going to happen tonight with the defensive coming out and just taking total control of the ball game. Dow had to step up their defense to help the offense out with those injuries, and they've done exactly that. You know, if it wasn't for the high snap on offense, the defense have totally shut down the Chemics until this last drive.
Randy, Coach Joswiak, even in his ball possession type of format that he's been here for 20 years with, he hasn't had control of the game like he likes to have control. You know he's going into the half concerned about his offense and their ability to sustain the game spending drives that he's accustomed to having them do.
Yeah, right. They haven't controlled the ball. They haven't done really anything on offense yet to do anything. They're probably 6 plays and out, 3 plays and out, and they've had the ball only a couple times. The defense scored their touchdown. I'm sure they're going to go into the locker room and come up with a couple ideas of how to stop this stunting or do something else to get away from the stunting. The Dow stunting defense is really shutting them down right now.
But the one thing with the Midland Chemics football team, as you look at the way they've played this game, with their style of ball club, they're in this ball game exactly where they want to be. They're fundamentally sound. They'll come out in the third quarter, which has been their quarter all year long, and try to sustain something here. But hey, they're in this ball game, and they're a sound ball club. They don't beat themselves. So Dow still got to come out and do something to win this ball game.
We'll have it for you. A second half of football. The city champion will be crowned some 24 minutes of football away. A pair of quarters for you. Again, invite you to the sights and sounds of halftime at the city championship here at Midland Community Stadium. Our score, 6-6. We'll have halftime guest Chris Stevens after our bands, and we invite you for that and all the action right here on MCTV. Stick around. Oh, yeah. We hope you've been enjoying our halftime activities here from Midland Community Stadium. As promised, we'll move to the print side of media here in Midland, Michigan. Welcome aboard in our broadcast booth, Assistant Sports Editor Chris Stevens. And Chris, run into you at many events throughout the year, and it's always a pleasure.
Thanks a lot, Dale. Appreciate it.
Let's take a look at the two teams and the type of contest tonight's game brings us. The kind of matchup you thought we'd see.
Yeah, I think that the wind, the strong wind, has had a big impact on the game. The passing attacks for both teams, when they're going into the wind, you might as well forget it. So when you have the wind at your back, you might as well take advantage of it. I don't think at this point neither team has done that.
You alluded to the wind, and knowing that Dow is more of a passing team than what the Chemics are, being a ball control team, is that in Dow's favor now? I believe that they'll probably have the wind here in the third quarter. It's generally Midland's tough quarter to help set a pace. Does Coach Altamore take advantage of Falk being the better passer, perhaps?
I would think he would. I think in the first half he was trying to establish the running game with Parmalee, and really the only run of note that they had was the touchdown run. Aside from that, they haven't gained many yards on the ground at all. Very few, in fact. So I would think Dow would open it up a little bit more in the third quarter. And same with Midland. I wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe try reverse, try to get Holboom in the open field. Their farthest run to this point, I think, is about 7 yards, 8 yards by Strouder. So you might as well try to get outside if you got the speed, like a Holboom or even a Jason Birch or a Raymond. You know,
the ball possession is such a major part of Coach Joswiak his entire career here at Midland High School. Dow, in some of their stunts and their blitzes, has really taken that effectiveness of the ball control out of Joswiak's hands. Adjustments to be made.
Right, and there's no better coach at making adjustments at halftime than Gary Joswiak. He does a great job, and just over the years I've been covering him, the third quarter has just been Midland's quarter. And if Dow can somehow interrupt that rhythm that they have in the third quarter, then they'll have the momentum swing to their side, and then fourth quarter, who knows what will happen then.
Stuff to do. We're looking 3-4 weeks into the future now. Who are some of the best teams in the state? It doesn't matter which class we're talking about. What are some of the teams folks may want to keep an eye on as our playoff season approaches so quick?
Well, I guess just for the Midland fans, the Davison team is tough, and what they and Midland have over the past few years is a nice little rivalry going. Last year, Midland beat them en route to go on to the Silver Dome, and a couple years back, Davison beat Midland. So they've got a real nice rivalry going. It'd be nice to see them meet up in the final, in the regional finals. Obviously, the Detroit area teams, Utica Eisenhower is tough in AA, and Traverse City, I would never count them out. They're always so well coached, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them get down to the Final Four. In this area, Coleman and Clare are playing a big game tonight. If Coleman beats Clare, then Coleman's going to get in the playoffs. If Clare loses, they might be out of the playoffs. Shepherd in Class CC, I believe, they're a very good team. They're undefeated. They've been to the playoffs last year. They have a lot of experienced, talented players back. They're going to be tough to beat. So there's a couple of teams in this area, and of course Farmington Hills Harrison is just traditionally a tough team, and they could beat most A and AA teams. They got a little football factory going on down there, so they're always tough.
So any predictions on the outcome of tonight's game? Is it a big play, or is it taking over?
Dale, when these shows are taped 12 times, I don't want to be wrong. But obviously a big play always turns the momentum, and that's the Altamore and Joswiak, that's what they're looking for. Looking for a punt return, a kickoff return, interception, some big play to switch the momentum to their side. And who's gonna make it? I don't know. Okay. And I'm not gonna predict.
That's a good call. I appreciate your honesty on that. Chris Stevens, the community of Midland appreciates your energy, time, and effort, and the professionalism that you bring at the games next to them in paper and on print. And I certainly follow you like a leader, in you're a great asset for a community like Midland.
Thanks a lot, Dale. I appreciate it.
Assistant Sports Editor from the Midland Daily News, Chris Stevens. Make sure you keep track of all of the sports activities, and especially either Midland Chemics and the Dow Chargers as the postseason takes shape in just a few more weeks. And Chris will be there and he'll bring it to you, as he's been doing for years, to the Midland community. Dale Robbins along with Greg Sovey and Randy Boynton. MCTV Channel 3 in a multi-camera extravaganza shoot. We're putting a dozen volunteers to work again on a Friday night football final week of regular season play, the city championship. The Dow Chargers scored first, and they scored once. It was a 43-yard touchdown run by Chris Parmalee, and that came with 6:45 to play in the first quarter. A blocked extra point kept the score 6-0. In the second quarter, with 8:32 to play, a high snap on a punt attempt on the part of the Chargers went into the end zone. It was covered there by Chemic Shad Jacobs. The fumble recovery and a touchdown makes our score 6-6. A extra point was missed on the part of the Chemics. That's the score, 6-6. We've got 12 minutes for 2 quarters, 24 minutes to decide this one, guys. And this is everything it's built to be year after year after year. For the 22nd consecutive year, this is going to go for it.
Yeah, I think what's happening right now, you know, you put everything else aside, Dow's got a lot to prove today in tonight's ball game. They've lost 3 in a row, like we mentioned. They come out here tonight. It's a new ball game for them, the last game for a lot of these guys. They want to show everybody what kind of ball club they have. They feel they're still the best team in the state. Obviously, they don't have the record for it, but here they are playing right with them. They really outplayed the Chemics. There's been a couple plays that have turned the tides for them a little bit to make this a 6-6 ball game. Because I think the surprising thing is Dow hasn't thrown the ball yet. Right. They haven't worked out of the shotgun at all and used Jason's arm, and I think that's what we're going to see this second half. I think they're going to come out and throw the ball, and that'll open up the run a little bit.
We would like to take this opportunity for our fall season. We've got one more event that will be taping on Tuesday, the 5th of November. It'll be the swim meet over at H.H. Dow High School, the Midland Dow swim meet. But all fall long, our underwriters and sponsors for MCTV, all volunteer sports television here. Make sure you check out these sponsors and go ahead and patronize them, if you will, because they're bringing you the best in sports television here in Midland, Michigan. And without them, it would certainly make our producers and directors and camera people's jobs a lot tougher. So thanks again to all the area businesses getting involved in high school sports here on MCTV Channel 3.
We got some unofficial halftime statistics for you here. For the Midland Chemics, rushing yards, 20 attempts for 63 yards. Yards passing, Midland's 2 for 7 for 26 yards. Dow, on the other hand, is 20 rushing attempts for 78 yards, and they're only 2 for 3, like we mentioned in the passing category, for 17 yards. Midland 2 for 7 and 26 yards. The one big play came at the end of the first half there, a 24-yarder to Wilczek. He's the leading receiver. Strauder's got a reception for a couple yards, and Samaki for the Chargers has 1 for 7. Jacobs 1 for 10. Not a lot of passing for the Dow Charging Ball Club. Individual rushing for Midland, Strauder's 13 attempts for 52 yards, Burst 7 attempts for 11 yards, and Parmalee for the Chargers coming back into the offensive lineup tonight, 9 attempts for 76 yards, the leading rusher for the ball game tonight.
He's running a good game for just coming back.
He had the one big play also there for, was it 40 yards or?
About 43.
Yeah, 43 yards there, so he had the one big attempt to help here. Chemics going to get the ball first. That's what they want to see here in the third quarter. This has been their quarter all year long.
I'd like to take this time to say hi to George Meyer. He's not doing too well. He kind of wanted to hear his name on TV.
I heard that earlier. We're happy to do that. A diehard Midland and Dow supporter. He's a high school supporter.
High school supporter. There you go. Yes, he loves sports.
All right, George, get well if you will. And we're thinking about you. Well, if it's a factor, and it has been brought to be one, it's the wind in tonight's game. The Chargers will be kicking into that.
And he missed it.
The ball fell from the wind. I was just talking about pretty windy up here. It's even windier down there. The ball fell off the tee.
That's offsides.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He went to put a boot to it, and just as he was getting ready to kick it off, the ball toppled from the tee.
Yeah, they're gonna wave that flag off because of the wind.
One of the Chemics runs up and grabs it and wants to run. the end
Well,
zone.
he was open. He could have gone all the way there.
Pete and Bull says, I got to believe you get through these 10 guys just standing around, and we're talking pay dirt.
That was a smart move by Pete and Bull's part. You know, if it was a live ball, that should have been his ball.
Chris McManus, number 10, in to do the kicking here for the Chargers. The wind just knocked the ball off the tee.
We've seen Jason Beidel struggle on a couple of punts. He's been favoring the injury that he's had for nearly a month now. And
Can remind you of Linus and Charlie Brown on that one now, didn't it?
Gonna have a holder this time. Watch him lift it up here and drop him again.
McManus on the boot. It's a squib. Fielded about the 34-yard line and ran back and straight up field. Number 17, the ball carrier, Nate Corral. Corral runs it to about the 40-yard line. The Chemics with the possession on their own 40.
I still must have the wrong sheets of paper here.
What are you finding or not finding, Rand?
It's a 1973
17.
roster. Was he playing then?
He wants to call his name out. He's looking for the guy wearing his number.
With the,
I don't know.
That's that Chemic pride. It goes so deep, Randy's afraid to let go of it. B.J. Strutter around the left side, and he squirts back on a cutback, and he'll pick up about half of what he needed for a first down, 5, maybe a 6-yard gain.
Boy, he gets stopped. He just keeps those legs moving. He just inches out a couple, 3 more yards every time. You know, they had him stopped at the line of scrimmage, and he kept churning and spins and get a couple more yards.
Second down, a long 3. Ball now on the 46-yard line. Chemics with the first possession of the second half. Our score, as you've seen, is tied 6-6. A little quick movement and a whistle and a stop. Offsides, Chemics. Pete and Bull jumping quickly from his defensive or checking offensive stance on the line. He's in a tackle or guard? Guard.
I noticed at halftime, we mentioned earlier, a couple of the Chargers had shaved their heads for this ball game. It looked like quite a crew. I'd kind of like to see if they can pull this win out tonight, have the coaching staff shave their head.
We'll be talking to Frank later.
Frank and Ernie and the rest of the guys, hey, come on, let's get that team spirit going here. You know, these guys follow their leaders.
2nd and 8 after the offsides call. Marched off against the Chemics. This pitch goes to Birch. Birch around the left end, and he's forced out of bounds. Out near the first down. Not quite enough. It'll bring up a 3rd down. He's taken out of bounds there by Plum as Tim comes from his safety position.
About the 48-yard line. Needs to get just over the 50, I believe, for a first down. Be 3rd and 2.
3.
3rd and 3. 3rd and a long 2.
There you go.
Or a short 3.
We get Jason back up here. He likes to go to like 2.5 and stuff on it.
3rd and 3 for the Chemics.
John Dana, he's got Strutter and Birch as the setbacks behind him. This one to Strutter. Strutter over the left side. And he's out and beyond the 50. That'll be a first down. Running into the heart of the Charger defense. Plum again in on the pop, and also Leland in to make a hit defensively.
Nate Brink out of the lineup for the Chargers. Nate, another senior defensive lineman, 6'3", 221.
Where do they get these kids so big?
Well, I might have read it wrong. 5'9", 190, that crash diet.
First time Lasorda's on?
1st and 10. Dana on the pitch. This one's to Birch. Birch over the left side.
That's got to be a face mask.
No, he had his jersey.
Plum
That is jersey.
again takes him right around the shoulders and drives him out of bounds. Safety Tim Plum making a statement defensively.
That's good.
He thinks the Chemics have gone just about far enough on this opening drive of the second half.
You're seeing some good explosion off the line of scrimmage to start this 3rd quarter for the Midland Chemics. Something they weren't able to do that first half was blow the Chargers linemen off the ball, and they're really succeeding so far here.
2nd down and 8. A gain of 2 as Birch worked off the left end. 9:44, 3rd quarter. John Dana gets the snap. This comes to Birch. He'll come the other way. And again, he's stacked up before there's a hole created. And a nice pop in there by Parmalee coming from his linebacking position. And also in on the stop, number 68, is Greg Kaminsky from his defensive tackle position. No gain, 3rd down. The ball on the Charger 44-yard line.
got the war drums out.
Dana.
Straight up the middle. Big
BJ
hole.
Strutter, and he trips himself up, but out and near and picks up the first down. There to help him to the ground defensively was Jason Jacobs. Jacobs now comes out of the defensive scheme of things for Coach Altamore. He's replaced there by Chuck Chisholm, back in a tackle position.
Big offensive play for the Midland Chemics right there. Nice pickup for BJ.
3rd and long, and Strutter right through the heart of the defense to get the first down.
Caught him back in a passing defense.
The ball on the 36-yard line of the Chargers. The Chemics with possession. 6-6 our score. This handoff to Strutter. Strutter again looking for help up the middle. Not going to be done. Number 68, and again, Greg Kaminsky, 2, maybe 3 plays in a row, making a defensive statement through the middle of the Charger unit. Again, they've been very successful. Strutter, the #1 leading ball carrier on this Chemic squad. As Randy mentioned, he needed just over 100 yards to top the 1,000-yard season. I think coming into Chris Stevens at half mentioned his longest run thus far had been about 7 yards, and he may have just topped that a run ago with the 8-yard gain for the first down.
Holbom in motion.
In motion, and Scott with the reception, and
boy, I thought that skipped on the ground a little bit.
It's a pickup of 5.
That's that
Did he get it?
Fly that
was that there. That fly that buzzed by?
Yeah.
Okay, that hit the ground then.
Du Bois there to make the stop, and Plum there to make the stop, and the fly has been tackled. Boyd's got the fly on the fly.
Again, a big third and 4 for the Chemics.
There's the huddle. You see it. It'll be
got 2 downs to make.
Yeah, they're in 2-down range now.
3rd and 4.
Splitting the setbacks. Birch and Strutter in the backfield. John Dana, senior quarterback, takes the snap. This is to Strutter. Strutter over the middle again. Tim Plum comes again and meets Strutter heads on to stop him. Assisted there by Vargas.
Looks like he's going to get a first down here. Just a couple of inches. I think they're going to give him a good mark here, and he's up on the...
They gave him a
yeah, he's going to get a first down. Oh, he got a good mark.
Oh, they just did. Well, they found the Chargers' weak spot. That's right up the middle.
They're coming off guard there, center and guard, and they're running the ball right up the middle, driving.
Right up the middle, right over the center, basically, because the 2 tackles for Dow splits to the outside a lot. It's like...
1st and 10, 7 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. The ball is on the 25-yard line, and this is Birch. Birch around the left end and squirts out near a first down, and nearly a first down run. Almost picked it up again. We'll see if he gets a good or bad mark.
That was a great block by the left tackle, Cleo Glover, around the left end to open up that room for Birch to run there. And like you said, he picked up a good 9 yards on first down. Impressive drive for the Chemics, and this is what they're known for doing. The ground control, sustaining a drive, starting out the 3rd quarter, being a dominating team over the Chargers right now.
Jason Birch just better than a yard shy of picking up a first down on the run. It is a 2nd and 1. Ball just this side of the 15-yard line. Strutter gets the call, and he goes again over his center, out and picking up yet another first down in this opening possession in the 2nd half.
Make them either open up that center, then making them come into the center there to stop them running up the middle, and then he's going to run to the outside.
That was able to, their linebackers were able to stretch those outside runs out. Like Dale said, the longest run was 7 yards by Strutter in the first half, and they were able to stretch them out and use the field to their advantage. And here they're pounding the ball right up the middle, getting great explosiveness off the line of scrimmage.
It's Birch and Strutter in the backfield. Strutter gets the call, and he works to the left side. He finds his hole plugged, squirts forward for maybe a couple of yards, if that. That'll bring up a 2nd down. There's Plum in there. We'll call out the stack as it unpiles. Vargas was on the bottom, and also in on the stop was Andy Sexton from his defensive half position. A gain of 2, 2nd and 8 with 5.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter.
Been a fairly quick game going so far.
Virtually penalty-free, really, it has been. And the weather has been cooperating with rain most of the day. Dana's popped on the pitch, but does get it off, and Strutter's dragged down by Chris Parmalee. Going both ways after setting for nearly a month, and if you want to talk gamers to Coach Frank Altamore.
Oh, don't jump, don't jump.
That's our News 5 weekend man.
Ooh.
Hanging out up there.
think you should have brought some more clothes on myself.
Of course, he's on our truck.
Dropped them for a loss of a couple there. We're going 3rd and 11 for the Chemics. Big defensive stand right here on this play for the Dow Chargers.
4:45 to play in the 3rd quarter. 3rd down and 11. The ball is on the 16-yard lines after the loss on the carry by Strotter. Strotter gets the call again, and a great cutback. Vargas wraps him up before he can get a first. No doubt he'll be well shy of that, but he is now inside the 15. He's brought down by Vargas on the 12.
He did a good job getting to the middle of the field and setting it up for Stanton.
Again, Brian Williams, yeah, they set him up in good field goal range. Brian Williams had him again at the line of scrimmage, and Strotter broke the tackle and got into the secondary there a little bit, and that's where Vargas jumped in and stopped him.
He must be a lot stronger than he looks. I mean, he doesn't look, big and strong, but he just
window is back here.
Holbom the holder. Stanton the kicker, and no good.
No good to the left. Plenty of distance.
Missed the opportunity from some 26 yards out.
They're saying they're good.
He thinks he still got it.
Yeah, they all do. All the Chemics think he made it.
It has been waved off.
Boy, can we get another shot of that one, Dale?
I wonder if it went under the bar.
I don't know where the camera was located, but can we get a shot to see where that was?
We'll see if that has been saved in our
all right.
banks.
Let's see where our cameraman, if he had a good angle on it. Chargers are going to take the ball over anyways.
That's a tough angle, unless it did, in fact. I wasn't sure that it was wide. If anything, it looked like it may have went beneath the crossbars.
It looked low, maybe.
Needless to say, the Chargers have the ball on their own 20. The drive that ate up nearly 8 minutes of the 3rd quarter clock, unsuccessful for Coach Joswiak's Chemics. We remain tied at 6. No, I think they're just fired up to put the hammer on Parmalee off the carry. Let's check it. That's Jason Jacobs, the ball carrier, and he's hobbling some. I'll tell you what, that's a vision. That's a vision Frank Altamore has seen all year long from his key people, and he just his belly has to growl every time he sees one of his young athletes.
All you can ask is, who is it this time?
Yeah.
Or is it one of the same guys? But he's going to set back down. He's holding up his right ankle there.
That's one of the Jacobs boys. One boy plays for Midland, one boy plays for Dow. I asked their father Barry who he was going to shoot for tonight.
The loser. You can shoot the loser.
Shoot the loser.
Don't go home. So what was his response, Rand?
He backed off. He just
didn't he say he's rooting for the winner?
The winner.
Suspenseful story on Boynton's part, wasn't it? I was on the edge of my seat.
Stay tuned for the 4th quarter for the answer to Randy's conversation with Mr. Jacobs.
Jacobs putting a little more weight on that right ankle there. He'd come over and get some more tape on her.
Well, Greg mentioned earlier the difference in temperature. We've lost perhaps 15 degrees from the game time start temperature. The rain has stopped. The wind has continued to blow out of the west and cool it down for us a little bit out of the northwest. And you've got to believe it doesn't. An 8-game season, too, on bodies as hard as these young guys pop each other every Friday after Friday, and then they do it 5 days in between at practice. The body wears and tears after 8 games of a 9-game season have been completed. So the aches and pains will come to a highlight tonight, no doubt. This handoff off to the right side. We'll get the ball carrier for you momentarily. It was Chris, the ball carrier. There's our clock, our score, and our quarter. And the yards
Blasey's coming at him. Let's look for the pass.
Blasey and Easy Swarthout into the lineup.
Swarthout.
So I said Swarthout.
That's why he said Swarthout.
Jason Dubois comes out for the Chargers.
He knows what he said, Rand. Rand knows what he said. 3rd and 8. In motion is Samaki. Jason Falk on the play, and he eludes 1, 2. He's not going to get out of the 3rd one.
Not going to get away from all of them.
Defensively, number 76, finally wrapping him up.
Jim Fournette.
Fournette makes the stop after Falk had slipped away from 2, possibly 3 tacklers. It was a loss of 6 yards, a 4th and 13. Dow unable to move the ball in their first possession of the second half.
I don't think Midland realizes they're going to kick.
Yeah, they got a guy back here, but they're going to probably come for the block. We're going to get Jason to do a little punting here.
A little better kick.
And it's the best punt of the night. It's not
good Charger roll.
Ball goes out of bounds at about the Charger 44. That's where the Chemics will take over.
But again, Midland's still in Dow's territory, and they've had the field positioning here for the start of the third quarter. Throughout the third quarter here, they've held position on the Chargers' defense. Got the wind of the back. They just missed that field goal. That's their advantage. We were talking about that at halftime, whether it comes down to a kicking game, who's going to have the wind at their back the last quarter here. It'll be the Chargers, it looks like, and that might be the deciding factor tonight.
Very well could be.
Neither kicking game's been real, like we said, the cold and everything else, but neither game has been real sharp on the kicking crews, special teams.
Strouder and Birch the setbacks, and a straight drop back. This is Dana.
A lot of time to throw. He's got Holboom. He just overthrows him.
Scott Holboom, the intended receiver. Incomplete pass as Dana led him by about 1.5 yards beyond where Scott could get his hands. And Holboom, by the way, coming in receiving is currently number 4 in the Saginaw Valley League. He's got 259 yards coming into tonight, and he's scored on 4 of those. He has 4 touchdowns.
Covered by Tim Plum and Andy Sexton for the Chargers.
2nd and 10, 1:58 remaining, third quarter action. Our score 6-6, the Midland City Championship, right here at Midland Community Stadium. The pitch goes to Jason Birch. Jason Birch off the left side. He's stood up and stopped shy of a first down. In on the stop is Ken White from his defensive half position.
We're starting to see some real good sticking down on the sidelines on these running plays. They're really starting to hit.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you talked to people a week ago, there's no way Dow should have been in this darn thing, and if you talk to Dow, there's no way that they shouldn't have been considered to be in it. So you've got to believe the statements and the thoughts and the processes in there, and seeing the fall of their regime here over the last 3 weeks. Tonight it's going to all be spent, and the Chemics have to deal with that. B.J. Strouder on the carry. He's up and inside now the 35-yard line, down to about the 34 of the Chargers, and still shy of a first down.
Good pursuit for Chuck Chisholm on that, as he had Dana almost on the handoff. He almost took the handoff away.
He almost had the handoff.
A 4th down and 1.
Yeah, you know, Midland's record stands for itself. Win or lose, you know, they believe that they're going to be in the playoffs either way. They're shooting for a home field advantage here. Dow, on the other hand, has a lot to prove. You know, they're out here. The record's 5-3. They know they're a better football team than that, and this is a chance to prove it by knocking off the playoff-bound Chemics.
4th and 1. The ball on the 34. John Dana over center. Stacked up in the tailback position is Strouder, and running back and
he drew
on
him
the
off.
cadence, drawn off sides, number 68, Greg Kaminsky from his tackle, and that's the easy way to pick up a first down if you're the Chemics.
That little stutter in his voice there draws the Chargers off, and that's a big penalty for the Chargers right there. Ball on the 30-yard line, first down for the Chemics.
You remember they ate up about 8 minutes of this third quarter clock and came away scoreless on the missed field goal opportunity by Stanton. This pitch to Strouder. Strouder over the left side, and he'll cup about 3, maybe 4, working his way down near the 25 to about the 26.
No, we've seen Midland High. We've seen both these teams play a few times this year, but watching Midland High, they've been able to pretty much control the line of scrimmage with the running game all year long against all their opponents. And Dow, you know, win or lose, no matter what the outcome in here, they have shut them down fairly well. A couple of drives here, and Midland's starting to possess the ball a little bit more here, but Dow's defense has been outstanding tonight, as is Midland's. Midland shut them down, you know, very well the whole ballgame as well.
Right. 2nd and 7. Dana, this handoff to Strouder. Strouder trying to work over the left side, met there, and he's still battling for yardage.
Runs into his own ball player there, runs into number 53 for the Chemics.
Jason Jacobs, Chris Parmalee, and also in on the stop is John Vargas.
Yeah, he ran up the back of Marty Kincaid, the center. 5'7", 206 junior. They're all over 200 pounds, Randy. I was in high school and I was 200 pounds now, but back then they would have had me on a diet.
Kind of like Terry's trying now.
Well, these guys are 200, and they say, look at the size of that guy. You know, man, if I was 200 pounds, Coach Roberts and them, they'd have me running. And
our third quarter goes scoreless. One scoring opportunity. It was a missed field goal on the part of the Chemics. Our score as it was at half, 6-6 with 12 minutes to play.
Well, they did. Look at all the Chargers have like skinheads there.
Yeah, they shaved their heads for the occasion, but I see that the coaches didn't, so we'll see what we can do with that. I'd like to see them talk them into it here.
Yeah, they should have.
If they can pull this win off, maybe next time we talk to Coach Aldermore, will be growing back.
There's Frank there. The way that comes down over his collar as he disappears to the right side of the screen, chances are he's going to keep that here.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Oh, they're selling us candy bars through the window. Is that legal? Is that a legal sale? You get sales tax with that? My 8-year-old just collected like 22 bags of candy. She can't hear me. It's the day after Halloween and she's selling candy. My counter is set until December.
3rd and 5. Dana back. Passes to Hoboom. He's got a short completion. It may be enough for a first down depending on the mark.
Standing him up defensively.
I think he was over the line.
Was he over the line? We'll see where they mark it.
Andy Sexton makes the stop and forces Hoboom back. It's going to be a close mark.
It's going to be a first down.
We'll see the chains. Let's take this opportunity for the final time to remind you of our rebroadcasts of tonight's championship game here at Midland, Michigan. A city champion to be crowned in, about 11 minutes and 42 seconds, if you will. The Midland Dow game being cablecast on MCTV, Channel 3 here in Midland. These following dates and times, tonight at midnight, the first night of November, 1991. We'll have it on all weekend for you, Saturday and Sunday. That's the 2nd and 3rd. It comes your way at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 10 p.m., 3 times each of those days. Monday and Tuesday, it's the 4th and 5th of November, 1 time each of those days at 7 p.m. at night. Its final broadcast will come your way November 6th, 8:30 in the morning, right here on MCTV, Channel 3. Make sure to set your VCRs, as MCTV cannot make a copy of tonight's rebroadcast for you. Thank you.
Chemics are going to take a timeout with 11 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. You can see both coaches out there. You can see Josiak has his team together here. Trying to get something going together here on offense. The ball sitting on about the 20-yard line.
You know, the weather has been a factor, and everybody chats about the weather in Michigan. We saw the Dow homecoming get that party rained on, and we saw the Midland game that we had done. That drew a little rain in response, and everybody was geared up for this November affair. And if Mother Nature has a factor on the game, you hate to see that be a big role. Both coaches say, hey, you play the game however it needs to be played, but it really has been a perfect night, with the exception of some wet and slippery conditions on the field, but ideal football weather to wrap up the 1991 regular season throughout the state of Michigan. A look at a couple of the charging Dow High School Charger players. Cheering on the defense, John Dana, 1st and 10, 11 and a half to play. Ball is on the Charger 20. In the pitch, it comes this way to Jason Birch. Jason Birch, he slips the tackle by Plum. Vargas comes from his linebacking position to take Birch out, and also tying him up, number 33 is Andy Sexton. And also number 68, defensively, from his tackle position, Greg Kaminsky.
Got about 6 yards in that run.
2nd and 5.
Midland High's really been quite successful with that run play here in the second half.
Go back up the middle this time.
The Charger defense, will it stand? Jason Birch, the ball carrier, a flag on the play. Coming from the linesman indication, we've got illegal procedure, the Chemics. That'll back them up.
Chuck Chisholm made the tackle.
And Parmalee slow to get up. He's helped to his feet.
Justin Burney in for the Dow Chargers.
Now this is the way you stay warm in November. You become a band member, grab a horn, and just dance to whatever it is the rest of your pals are playing. On the Dow side, they're all looking for a tune to play. Turn to page 34 in your programs, and we'll try the fight song.
I think you're just being courteous and letting Midland play right now, Dale. I don't see a problem with that.
There's our blimp this evening.
Close-up view of it.
It looked far away. It really looked like a gold balloon from this distance, but
the pictures from the air coming from, what's the pilot's name?
2nd and 9. A mill to Earhart. And Burt's the ball carrier. He squirts for possibly about a 6 or 7 yard gain. Vargas making the stop defensively for the Chargers. Didn't pick up a first. 3rd down. We'll see what kind of a mark he gets. It'll be about a 3rd and 2. Now nearing 10 minutes to play in the game. Our score 6-6. The Chemics are 7-1 and tied atop the Saginaw Valley League for a championship at 5-1. The Chargers are 5-3 and 4-2 in the Saginaw Valley League. Doesn't matter. This one's for the city, and we're tied at 6 with under 10 to play in the game.
They're going to go for a field goal?
Parmalee and Smith, Shannon Smith in on the tackle to stop them. It'll bring up a 4th and about 3. Notice they tried to run up the middle off the right guard there again, trying, I think, to stay in the middle of the field for field goal positioning.
It'll be interesting.
They're going for
again, it's into the face. It's into the face of the wind again.
Yeah, that's the difference.
They took the flag down, so you really can't. I mean, it looks awful windy still, and watching some of the people fly by.
Sean Raymond into the game. John Data over center. He's got 4th down and 2 to go. He needs to get near the 10-yard line. Pitch goes to B.J. Strotter over the right side. Great defensive play by Kaminsky. From his tackle position on the opposite side of the defensive line, Greg Kaminsky in downs has given the Chargers the possession of the ball deep in their own territory with 9 minutes to play, and the game still tied at 6s.
Well, right now, that's the play of the ball game right there. Greg Kaminsky put the stop on him.
That is a big-time stop by Kaminsky.
I'm still looking for the Chargers to open it up a little bit more. I know you're talking to Chris Stevens at halftime, and I think I heard him saying in the background there that he thought they'd open it up a little bit. But we just haven't seen him put the ball in the air a whole lot.
Well, in the 3rd quarter, this is their first possession of the 4th. They were going into the wind in the 3rd quarter. They've now got the wind at their back, and a nice move by Jacobs to switch tackle, breaking off back to about a yard shy of the original line of scrimmage.
He was lucky to get back that far. He was hit 2 or 3 times.
He's again coming up lame a little bit as Jacobs. He'll hobble his way back to the Charger huddle.
I'd like to be tackled by your brother. I'll be standing there.
Well, you saw that extra little drive once you got him into the ground.
I seen he just kind of helped him out a little bit.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, the Chargers just have had no field position this first half, or the second half.
We have the same question for Gloria, your sister. What would it feel like to be tackled by your brother? She could answer that with more honesty than most brothers could. And Falk dropped back. He sends his man deep. He's looking for him. Some contact down here in front of us. The official right there doesn't make the call. Drew Samaki pleading his case.
He was tied up there about 10 yards off the line of scrimmage.
He and David Horning did get hung up off the line of scrimmage, but the official says it was incoincidental contact as Drew trying to make a burst down the sideline where Jason was sending it.
The play was just a little, about a 5-yard out turn, and he got tied up at the line there, so Jason was pointing for him to go deep, and Jason wisely threw the ball away.
Right. A timeout, Chargers. Their first, I believe,
it looks like it looks like it's going to take a big play to do something here for the Chargers. They've been buried deep in their own backfield here for the whole second half of the ballgame, totally dominated by the Midland Chemics.
Once again, Midland, Michigan urging you to perform your American duties. November 5 is a vote throughout the countries. Go ahead and we'll have those election results for you on Tuesday night, the 5th of November. The final results right here on MCTV, Channel 3.
This little timeout will give us an opportunity to give you some of the names of some of the seniors for the Midland Chemics. Scott Hoboom is the senior for the Chemics. Also Shad Jacobs, Tom Richards, Craig Lewis, John Dana at quarterback in there. Bastion Cool, David Beatonpole. I'm reading these off a roster, so you'll have to bear with me a little bit. Sam Norling, B.J. Straughter, Nate Corral. The Chargers will step up to the line. We'll try to get more of those to you a little later.
3rd and 12, a big play in the final quarter of tonight's game. Falk in a drop back. He's looking for Samaki again. Samaki's in the open.
He's got his man. What a play.
Completed pass,
and a late
flag, and Drew Samaki went right back to the huddle and said, this time, Jace, I'm breaking down the sideline. Catch you on the other side of the 50.
by Shad Jacobs of the Chemics. He was already down and he dove on to make sure he was down.
The big play, perhaps.
Attack on 15 more.
Perhaps the big play. We'll call it for you and see it in about 7 minutes and 44 seconds when this game comes to a conclusion. They'll march off another 15 after the 45-yard completed pass from Jason Falk to Drew Samaki.
Well, that's the kind of play that we knew it was going to take the Chargers to get out of being buried. You know, they've just been buried this whole second half, and it took the big play to get them out of their end zone. Now they can run the ball or pass. It opens up a lot of other options for this offense.
A 3rd and 12 has been now transformed into a 1st and 10. They have the ball inside their own 10. They are now on the Chemic 33-yard line. The Dow High Chargers marching. A double handoff in the backfield. Now Samaki working off the left side. He's got a block up front. 2 men to beat, and he's dragged down. But not until he busts inside the 10-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle by David Horning or Drew Samaki hits end zone.
And I'll tell you, Jason Jacobs just threw one beautiful fake, and still to keep 2 Chemics that had the chance at him in the backfield.
Samaki is slow in getting up. David Horning caught him by the heel and brought him down near the 5. And a breath will now be taken by this Charger offensive unit as they go check on Drew.
The only guy that could have stopped it grabbed on to Jason Jacobs. He thought he still had the ball. In fact, I was watching Jason Jacobs. What a fake. Jason kept his back to this side of the field. But what a fake to allow Drew Samaki to find room on the left sideline.
He's got his breath. He's back and he's firing up the offensive unit as he'll have to take a seat, at least for a play after an injury timeout had been called for him. Drew Samaki has made this drive spectacular.
Oh, yeah. He sure has, and I'm sure you know, he's only a junior. Maybe Aldermore will let him back next year.
The 45-yard pass reception. He took a late hit to get another 15, and then he goes around the left end to take the Chargers inside the 5. 7 minutes, 20 seconds to play. Parmalee, the ball carrier, right smack up the middle inside the 5 on the 3. It'll be a 1st and long 4. Our clock and, of course, the fired up Charger squad here on the home side of Midland Community Stadium. It don't get any better than this.
Well, that's what we're talking about, opening it up a little bit. One of these teams had to open it up, and the Chargers have with the long pass and then the fake reverse there. What a beautiful play.
2nd and goal. Jason Falk, the senior quarterback for this Charger unit. He'll take the snap. Handoff is a keeper as Falk hangs on the play action that went by way of Parmalee. Falk gets a gain of about 1. That'll bring up a 3rd down. And the number 1 defense in the Saginaw Valley League is being called on to be just that, the number 1 defense, the Midland Chemics.
This is when it gets tough down there for that defense. They got to really stand pat and not give up any yardage. Obviously, a 3rd and 3 for a touchdown. I think the Chargers are going to take a first down here, or a timeout here. Let's get some more of these seniors for the Midland Chemics. Jason Hartz is another senior. He's a guard. Trek Claravino, Brett Meyer, Scott Brown, Steve Gorm. You know him, don't you, Randy?
I know that man personally.
John Fosgett, Corey Bergeron, Cleo Glover, and a couple more here for you. Steve Lowe, Matt Wilczek, who caught the big 24-yard pass to end that second quarter before halftime, and John Banaszak. Those are the seniors playing their final ball game for the Midland Chemics.
And the seniors playing for Dow is Dave Horning, Ken White, Jason Falk, Chris McManus, Kim Plum, Mark Monson, Darren Beidel, Chris Parmalee, Jason Dubois, Shandon Smith, Alan Shaw, Brian Williams. We'll get back to the ball game here. We'll get to the rest of them.
3rd and goal. The ball is on the 3. Jason Falk brings the Charger offensive unit to the back. Parmalee, the ball carrier. He gets half of what he needed to get the touchdown.
Boy, what a length of football. Do they go for it, or do you kick a field goal here?
You got to go for it.
Go for it?
Huh?
Got to get point.
Yeah, it's game time here. He's
Drew Samaki back into the game.
No, you got to think about it too here. You know, the kicking game, the special teams for both teams have had some problems tonight.
Offensive scheme of things getting set up. It's Parmalee in the backfield, and it's also Jacobs. The third and final timeout for Coach Frank Altamore. No doubt wants to get it right this opportunity.
Got to get it right now.
Yeah, that's a big timeout right there for them to have to use it. But they got to make sure this is what they want to call. They got the right players in the position.
They're right there at the 1 foot line. You want to make sure you're right. Get her in.
Yeah, it's time to blow these guys off the line of scrimmage if they're going to get in, because Midland's got a tremendous defense.
A couple more guys here for Dow that are seniors. Greg Kaminsky, John Herman, Casey Jenkins, Nate Brink, Bob Murray, Scott Brooks, and John Vargas is the last one.
Congratulations, seniors, and carry the memories and lessons learned in life's many examples set by both coaching staffs and two fine programs that those senior athletes that Greg and Randy just mentioned to carry their experiences and help them deal with whatever lies down the line for all of these youngsters.
What a great ball game for them to remember as their last ball game as well. It doesn't get no better than this.
Well, I'm thinking clam dipping in New England with the Flyers by the side with 12 good friends. Yes,
here we go. This may be for the ball game.
4th and 1, 5:40 to play. Our score 6-6. 4th and final quarter. On the keeper, Falk looks to the end zone.
What a play!
Nearly intercepted, but knocked down. Intended receiver was Vargas.
Number 3, Shad Jacobs with the big play for the Chemics, and it's going to turn the tide. Will that turn the momentum back over to the Midland Chemics? They're going to be deep in their own territory, but what a play.
I'll tell you what, now looking at that Midland defense, Shad Jacobs on the high snap recovered the fumble, could have been dropped on for a safety. Shad got the recovery back in the second quarter for the touchdown. That is equally as big of a play for Coach Gary Joswiak's #1 defense in the Saginaw Valley League, and Shad Jacobs again heading and making the difference.
Interesting call for the Chargers there to roll out on the pass play.
1st and 10, 5.5 to play. The Chemics on their own 1. B.J. Strutter, the ball carrier, and he's tied up by number 54 defensively for the Chemics.
Making the stop, Parmalee.
You love that guy. I love that kind of offense myself, where you come out and catch them off guard like that with a rollout.
Traveler.
They were pinning the ball, trying to pin the ball right up the middle. The defense had confinement in the line of scrimmage, and they rolled out and broke that. And just a tremendous play by Shad.
Yeah, gutsy call. He was open, Chad.
Oh, yeah.
Stretched way out to get his hands on that ball.
A 2-yard pickup by Strutter. It's a 2nd down and 8, we'll call it. This handoff comes to Strutter again. This time he goes around the left side.
Picks up 3 yards backwards. Nice effort for BJ.
Brought down by Travis Suderman.
Suderman made the stop.
Our MCTV sports producer now back from Cleveland. What's in Cleveland in October? Not much. Bob Granstra has been on the road the last week and a half, in and out of town. He'll be leaving again this weekend.
I think he was in Cleveland watching World Series, wasn't he?
Yes, he was down there hoping the Indians to get the final draw in the big game.
3rd down and 3. Big offensive stand right here for the Chemics and defense.
4.5 to play. Hand off to Strutter, and he stopped. It'll bring up a 4th down, short yardage, but the Chemics are so deep into their own territory, the Chargers will get the ball again.
Again, it's going to be relying on the special teams. The kickoff here to get the ball out of their end zone. They're kicking from their own end zone again.
Ken White on that stop originally stood him up from his defensive half position as Strutter got the call all 3 times deep in their own territory, the Chemics meaning. Drew Samaki will drop back deep and await the punt.
The last time we saw the kick from the end zone was the touchdown off the Chargers miscue with a bad snap.
It's a decent snap, and Stanton gets the kick away. Originally bounces at about the 35.
I think they had 12 men. Someone had 12 men on the field.
Yeah, we got a flag. There's another flag right there.
I think Dow has 12 guys on the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
like to take this opportunity, if I may, to thank the people that have made the football and fall schedule with the conclusion coming November 5. That'll be a first down. Ran.
Yep.
Another tough break for Altamore's Chargers, if in fact that's the call. Like to Midland Public Schools athletic coordinator, his name is Bill Mick. He makes it a very simple process by pulling the strings he does and allowing us to get in early and get out late. The athletic director here at Midland High School, Steve Marsh, also Al Kuick over at H.H. Dow High School, and all the input and help that the athletic directors from both of these fine educational establishments allow us. All the volunteers whose names will shortly appear on the screen, couldn't do it without each and every one of them. And of course our underwriters and sponsors for MCTV Sports here on Channel 3. Patronize them and tell them thanks for bringing it to you better than any operation can here in the Tri-City area, bringing you high school sports.
The officials take a timeout to switch balls. Must be a little wet.
3:33 left in the game. Too many men on the field. The Chemics with the ball on their own 25. After a big defensive stop, Dana goes to the air looking for it all, and had Hobum out there.
He had Hobum. He had his man out there. He had his man beat, but he just couldn't get him the ball.
Well, why it was a 15-yard penalty instead of a 5-yard with 12 men on the field is because they were playing. Instead of trying to run off the field, that's only a 5-yard penalty. But if you participate in the game, it's a 15-yard penalty.
Well, every guy thought he was the 11th man. Nobody wanted to assume that 12th man position. They are all ready. Everybody wants to play in this one.
Well, I think the more guys you can get out there being seniors, get them their time here.
32 men on the field. 3:27 to play in the game. 2nd and 10. And again, Dana drops back, setting up a screen. This comes this way. Strotter has the screen, and the Chargers read it. Another flag the other way. We'll see what that's all about. That happened well away from the play.
Illegal man downfield.
A lineman got a little deep. Defensively, stacking things up there for the Chargers was Greg Kaminsky. He has been just about everywhere tonight, coming from his tackle position, doing it in the middle. The officials are concurring on the opposite side to explain no flag.
That's the 3rd no flag we've seen tonight.
He runs to Coach Altamore on the Charger sideline and yells, "Not." Just kidding. November Fools. No flag.
Must be because the ball didn't get past across the line of scrimmage.
You lost me on that one because
it has spent time, all important for both teams. Our score 6-6. 3 minutes, 8 seconds to play. The Chemics with the ball on a 3rd and 7. John Dana is hit as he releases.
Oh, and it still almost got the
nearly
ball.
Picked off. Jacobs had a hand on it. Then Holbom had a receiving hand on it. Neither is complete. An interception foiled, a reception foiled. We'll do it again at 4th and 7.
Boy, if Jacobs comes up with that pickoff right there, he's got nothing but daylight to the end zone. Okay, let's Drew Samaki, start counting your players back
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay.
Are we okay?
Drew drops back deep again. It'll allow the Chargers not as good a field position. They would have originally taken over near their own 40. Stanton with the boot, and
beautiful
Samaki calls for a fair catch at his own 40 and downs it there.
Beautiful kick for Stanton.
2:56 to play in the game. The Chargers spent each and every timeout they had their possession to go that took them to the 1-yard line of the Chemics before running out of downs and still being less than a yard shy of taking a lead in this city championship game. They'll have 2:56 to go, some 60 yards or in and around there, to allow some sort of a field goal opportunity for the kicking duties of the Chargers. Remember, Beidel has been hurt. He's their normal place kicker, and they've gone a couple of different options to try to create that extra point and field goal attempt. Jason Falk rolls left, throws this one well shy of his intended receiver, Matt Blasey.
A couple games ago when Jason rolled out there and he saw a little bit of daylight, he'd be gone. He'd break for it, and there he chose to throw the ball.
Yeah, I think the ankle's hurting more than what he wants to lead on.
He's been a gamer tonight, as of both teams here. I'm sure, Midland's playing with some bruises out there as well, bumps and bruises and some injuries, and everybody seems to play it over a little bit when you get into this kind of competition.
Well, you hate to see anybody not play because of injuries, in high school.
Especially miss this type of ball game.
Yeah. Your last ball game, Midland Dow game, you'd hate to see him miss it.
2nd and 10. Jason Falk again rolling left. This handoff, though, however,
where is the ball?
We've not heard a whistle.
I think it's a fumble.
No, actually recovered down there by the Charger, number 77, gets up from what was the bottom of the pile, offensive tackle Bob Murray.
You can hear everybody just had no idea. The fans, the people up there in the press box didn't know where the ball was.
I think that was the old Fumsky play.
Did he, is that the play where they just leave the ball laying on the ground, somebody runs by and picks it up?
Yep, I think so. That's what it looked like.
Where does Coach Altmore come up with this? Please, this is great.
Coming from Coach Altmore, that would not surprise me.
No.
Not even a little.
Hey, let's catch him sleeping, because I was watching everybody else run
We've seen him have more fun in this game and games throughout the year. He's got a bag of tricks, and by golly, he needs
one here, 3rd and 11. We got another flag against the Chargers.
Well, too much time, a delay of game. Right. That'll back them up 5. That'll bring up a 3rd and 16, we'll say. They need to get to the 50-yard line and beyond, about the 49.5 of the Chemics for a first down. Currently, the ball's resting on their own 35.
This has not been a real good possession for the Chargers, as they wanted to run some time off this clock and move the ball upfield a little bit. They're going backwards here, and if they have to punt, Midland's going to end up with good field position with a lot of time left.
Yeah, because they got all their timeouts. They got 3 timeouts left. Midland does. Could be a big factor now at the end.
Is that because we're on their field, or?
Well, the rest didn't count them when they took them.
3rd and 16. You remember Samaki was the big-time intention last time. This time,
Jacobs, the backup quarterback, just overthrows.
Intended receiver was Andy Sexton. No call on an interference. The Sexton looked for a stripe to give him that call, and defensively, David Horning,
along with Craig Lewis, the defensive halfback, 5'11", 175 senior, with the coverage, bringing up 4th and 16. Is that about right?
Sounds good to me.
Yes, it is. I gotta believe, for the benefit of the AP pollsters scoring it after the weekend of football is complete, the Chargers will want to get rid of this one and not allow Midland any breaking yardage at all.
Well, they'll have to play overtime game, right? If it ends in a tie?
I'm not sure if they've decided to go that route or not. Perhaps they will. Jason Falk, what will he do? He gets a good snap, and he's looking to pass. He's got Jacobs, and he's got a block out front. And the 45.
He's going to get a first down. Oh, what a call.
First down, Chargers. Oh, Jacobs on the fake punt. The pass from Jason Falk, and Jacobs has picked up a first down. The ball's on the Charger 46, and it ain't over. 1:47, the Chargers with the first down, and here we go.
You gotta love this kind of football. The last 3 calls, again, have been terrific. You watch the fake handoff, and Jacobs drop backs to pass the ball. He's the backup quarterback who filled in last week for him. And now we have the fake punt pass for the first down.
He did it off a play action to allow himself and Jacobs to allow a little more time to get open. From the shotgun, Jason Falk, and he's looking for room, finds a hole, runs it back to the original line of scrimmage. No gain, a 2nd and 10. Clock is running. Dow has no timeouts remaining.
I think they're going to play for the tie and then do it at the overtime.
You're going to see him put the ball up in the air a little bit more here. That's exciting football. Midland's defense, like we mentioned, #1 in the Valley, being put to a test here tonight.
Keep in mind, the regular place kicker, Darren Beidel, is really not available. We saw some action from him early punting, but McManus has been the boot from a set position. This pass is complete.
Oh, and the pitch!
Out of bounds, stop the clock. Jacobs is forced out of bounds by the Chemics. And another first down, 44 seconds to play. The ball on the 27-yard line of the Chemics.
This is as much fun I've had watching football, and not leaning toward the Dow side or nothing, but this is exciting. I'm telling you, this is great.
You're absolutely right. High school football at its best, it's the final regular season contest for both of these teams. The Chemics playoff bound, no doubt. The Chargers have nothing but tonight to call a successful season to take them to 6-3 after a tremendous start on the 91 campaign, going 5-0. The story's been heard for weeks, all the injuries, it doesn't matter. Falk rolling out as he's chased, he puts the ball up and thrown well out of bounds. Jason Jacobs, the intended receiver, that'll stop the clock with 38 to play. 2nd down and 10, and we have a flag.
This is where you have guys like Jason Falk and Chris Parmalee back into your lineup here. We got a holding against Dow, is it? No.
Legal
procedure against the Chargers. But you have that kind of leadership come back to your ball team, and you can just see Jason leading the rest of these guys, telling them where to go, what plays they're using, and that's what moves this ball club.
They'll march off the penalty. That'll put the ball back.
Oh, they didn't take it?
Declined. They'll take the down. 2nd and 10. Rather than give the Chargers another opportunity and keep it 1st down, the Chemics will have that play cost them a down. It's 2nd and 10.
With no timeouts, that's kind of a good play not to give them that extra play.
Falk from the shotgun. Parmalee back and Jacobs back to block. Set up a middle screen. This is
hit immediately. And fumble. Did he have possession of it?
It looked as if he was looking for a crossing play or maybe again for a pitch to mix it up. We'll see. It has not been called a fumble recovery.
Yeah, Bob Murray fell back on the ball for the Chargers.
3rd down. 3rd and 6. 15 seconds to play. Falk will dump it out of bounds, stop the clock, and bring up a 4th down. If McManus and or Vital were to come out with the foot, we're looking at somewhere near 35, about a 42-yard attempt or somewhere in that neighborhood, unless they're going to rely on the Hail Mary, or as Rand said, with that many ticks left and no timeouts. It'll be interesting to see if they're, they weren't playing for overtime to start with, but they may be content with that off the final offensive play of the game.
If they play in overtime.
Regulation.
I think they'll throw it in the end zone right now.
You see Shad Roberts going back and kind of like playing center field for the Midland Chemics to take away that long pass.
Samaki is split wide left. It's Swarthout down in the bottom of the corner here on the right side. Falk throws it up.
There's it up.
Samaki.
He's got Samaki. He can't quite get it.
Incomplete pass with 3 seconds left in regulation.
Off his fingertips.
That put him down. If Samaki comes up with it, was not in the end zone. He was out about the 3-yard line, and some good defense being applied on that right half position. Shad Jacobs blanketed him.
Well, Midland's got 3 seconds to throw over the Hail Mary, huh?
You got to believe we'll see John Dana drop back and just launch it.
You're going to see a bunch of guys go deep for the Chargers.
Oh, yeah, they got...
Number 4 is Ken White. Jason Falk is deep, as is Andy Sexton with Tim Plum back there. So just to stop the big play.
Is loose, and the Chemics will call a timeout.
Well, their job's just to take away that long pass. Don't let them burn you in the secondary. They're going to let them, catch the ball in front of you and stop them from that point on.
Yeah, you just want to stop now. The only thing that can hurt you now is a 75-yard touchdown. And
yeah,
he's got 4 guys back there. Just stop it.
What a great football game tonight, though. Both very well coached. Oh, yeah, it's been very exciting. Some big plays. Midland's pretty much dominated this second half. Dow comes out with 3 or 4 trick plays there and makes it awfully exciting.
What do you get? You get a little timeout. You get a couple timeouts for the overtime, or do you use your timeouts in the overtime, don't you? If you have any timeouts left?
No, I think you get more. You get more timeouts.
We'll have to see if they go there. I guess I'm not even convinced. Who do we talk to?
To me.
Rand, let me ask you, we're in a dilemma up in the press box now. Do they go overtime, or how do they work that with extra time?
There's a handoff to Strotter.
Strotter, and they'll spread him wide right, and Tim Plum from his safety position. Let's get it from Al McCormick, our PA announcer.
Well, that's going to be the official game there at 6-6 in
regulation, and if you send them home time,
we're going to play, guys.
Yeah.
See, Randy knew that all along, but he just can't believe him.
Guy's just playing with you.
You said we're going to play, and Randy actually stood up, and he's looking to go down to the Chemi Cuddle.
Suit me up, Coach. Oh.
Well, let me tell you how regulation came about in a 6-6 tie. Back at 6:45 to play in the first quarter on a 43-yard touchdown run, Chris Parmalee took it and ran it that distance to put the Chargers on top. It's been their only score of the game. A blocked extra point kept it 6-0 until the second quarter. At 8:32 of the first half, a fumble recovery after a high snap on a Charger punt attempt recovered there by Shad Jacobs. An extra point was missed, 6-6. That's the way we saw it at half. A couple of missed field goals. A field goal from 26 was missed on the part of the Chemics back in the third quarter. And we've seen the #1 Saginaw Valley League defense, Chemics, put a stop to an impressive drive here in the fourth quarter against the Chargers that had a 1st and goal on the 6, turned to a 4th and 1 on the 1. They couldn't punch it in. The Chemics took over, and that was the last scoring opportunity, perhaps by either team, we saw in regulation. 6-6, and city champion has not been crowned after 4 complete quarters of play.
I just had an opportunity to pull Coach Quick over here, the old football coach. He says this is the first game in the history of this rivalry that's gone into overtime.
After 21 years, this is the first one, huh?
Yeah. This is the 22nd year right here. What a great ball game, though. The defensive struggle, a couple of big plays offensively. The key still has been the punt, the high snap over the Dows. Darren Vitals' head fell in the end zone. Selected not to, at that opportunity to fall on the ball for the safety, and it's come back to haunt him a little bit here. But that's the kind of play where things happen so fast. You just
don't think of it.
Try to kick the ball back out of there. You see, I've seen on TV the pros, at times snap it over their head. They try to, make something happen back there, kicking it out or something. So it's just something that's a learning process, and I'm sure that they've learned from that play tonight.
Now they got to reflip and check which side you want and everything else here again. Imagine the winner would want to just take the win. The winner of the flip's going to take the win.
And rely on your defense to shut them down.
Yep. Well, you get to try again anyhow. Each team gets 4 plays to score. So if
Damon Lyon there on the sideline for the Chargers, showing a couple other players along the sidelines.
I would say you get the win, and if your team stops them and you get the win, you can kick a field goal easier. There hasn't been many fans that left so far tonight.
No, what a ball game. Now, you mentioned that each team gets 4 plays.
4 plays from the 10-yard line. They start at the 10-yard line, get 4 plays to score. So if you get
here, I thought when Dale was going to tell us how this overtime all came about and everything, I thought he was going to go way back years ago when they actually had their first overtime. Who decided to do that? But just kind of boring, really.
Yeah.
A guy by the name of Bill Overtime, strangely enough, came up with the idea. Well, I'm missing my son. I've not seen him. He hasn't been back for concession stand money, so I'm getting Grandpa and Grandma out on the APB alert here.
The referees are looking for the football right now, so I don't know if Gabe's got anything to do with that.
Chances are he thought it was part of that homecoming raffle. He's taking that one home.
Boy, the emotions have got to be flying high now. The bands are going crazy. The fans are standing, going crazy.
An update from our van.
All right, Midland won the toss, I take it.
Looked up in the archives, it was maximum overtime. Bill's younger brother who actually got the rule instated. So Bill's idea, maximum's selling process. And Thus, overtime is born in high school football. You got the questions. If you don't want the facts, don't ask the questions, right?
Midland won the toss and took the win.
Took the win. So they automatically win. That's great.
Right. It's like I bowled a 301.
That's win with a D.
So they're going to get the ball on the 10-yard line. Is that what you're saying, Randy?
Yes.
And they get 4 plays.
Correct.
4 plays to
4
score.
plays.
If they score, then in fact Dow has the ball, and they'll have the same number of plays. If each of them score, they'll do it until somebody doesn't, or if neither of them score, they'll do it until someone does.
Now you watch it. 6-6 right now, people. We're going to end up with about a 48-46 ball game. The 2-point conversion was going to win this thing.
Oh my.
There's John Herman, the center, offensive center for the Dow Chargers, saying, come on, get us the ball back. Or something like that.
Something like that. Stop them, get the ball back, go team.
Both sides
fire it up.
Trying to get the contingency on their feet and cheer this one on to some sort of a victory. There's the Chargers sideline up on the stands. Let's get involved in this one. 1st and 10, and it's Birch, the ball carrier. He stopped after a 1-yard game on the first play of overtime.
John Vargas with the stick.
Midland City Championship football. This one's not being given away in the first ever overtime contest for this particular crown. Who wants it bad enough? Both teams have played through regulation wanting that victory. Overtime will be the final decision. After the Birch gain of 2, it's 2nd and 8, ball on the 8. John Dana, this handoff, and a pitch comes this way on a eluded pass, and touchdown.
Oh, what a play.
What a play.
A great pass from number 6.
Sean Raymond.
Craig, yes.
Is that right, Sean Raymond?
Sean Raymond.
Yeah.
What a play.
Now, Josie doesn't have a lot of tricks. Now, that was a trick play for him.
That was a trick. Yep.
The pass was completed in the end zone to Cameron Bender. Bender with the touchdown pass from Raymond, and the first overtime possession goes a score. Now the extra point. These have been troublesome for both teams tonight, part of the kicking game. The snap, Stanton with the kick, and it's good.
He drilled that one, yeah. He drilled that one.
Good one.
Hey, pressure comes out on the offense of the Chargers. You're right, Randy. If there's a trick play, he just pulled it out of his hat right there, didn't he?
Right there.
What a beautifully thrown ball.
Oh, right there. Over top of 2 defenders and down into his arms.
And, you know, I hate to... Sean Raymond made the pass, but who caught it? I didn't even see who caught it. Did you?
Bender.
Bender.
Number 18 was the
what a play. His first reception of the game.
He made a nice catch, too. He stretched out. He had to lay out to get to that ball.
And they both have the wind to their back. That's interesting how they both get the ball in the same location.
Interesting enough, Raymond, the completed passer, one of our volunteers that help night after night and event after night, is Florence. Oh, okay. She's a secretariat at MCTV. Florence, that is Raymond's grandmother.
So is he an eligible receiver?
He is an eligible receiver if he, in fact, relays that information that he has a grandmother at MCTV before the play's run. Jason Falk will drop back. He needs a touchdown in this overtime ball game.
That's the ball game.
It's over.
What a ball game.
It is over.
Scott Cronkite grabbed Jason Falk, made him throw the ball early, and the ball's picked off. What a heartbreaking defeat for the Chargers.
Peyton Bowl with the interception. The city championship of Midland, Michigan belongs to now the 8-1 Midland Chemics.
Great ball game.
What a tremendous ball game. Heartbreaking defeat for the Chargers.
Look at them sitting down there.
It's a sad situation when they lost the ball game like that, but once again, Midland found a way to win the ball game, and good luck to them as they move on into the playoffs now. This will be a nice lift for them as they begin that road.
I'll tell you what, if you get an example, if we can get some close-up shots, of course the Chemics are fired up, as rightfully so they are, as 8-1, moving on to postseason play now for the 2nd year in a row. They're the state Class A runner-up from 1990. But I want you to watch some of the expressions on both of these youngsters' faces as each team walks by and the congratulatory rites are going by. These youngsters live and work and play and go to school in a town of some 40,000 folks, a close community. These youngsters have gone to intermediate school, played many activities against each other and with each other, if you will. The friendships and bonds that they're able to capture throughout their high school career for the names we mentioned earlier in the game are over. High school football is now history for many of these youngsters. This one, gentlemen, goes down as no doubt one of my most exciting contests in any sport between these two very capable and very much to be proud of by this community, high school and educational programs.
Oh, I agree. It's been an exciting evening. It's a heartbreaking loss for the Chargers. You know, what a dramatic turnaround. The game was so intense, so everyone's so fired up, and you know, in one play is going to win it. And Midland comes in, gets their possession, scores their touchdown, and Dow's got 4 opportunities to get into the end zone, and on the first play, that quick, ball game's over.
Here is, as a matter of fact, the play that crowned the Midland City champions. A Dave Pole interception, and we'll get it for you. As soon as we wrap up some of our volunteers, you'll see Falk drop back into the pocket, think what he has. Here it comes. Watch now down in the lower right screen. Falk drops back. A little pressure coming from the left side. I believe Greg called it. It was Cronkite coming in. Jason now looking, and he's faced here.
There's where he's hit just before he throws the ball, and that's just enough to bring the ball up short.
Dave Pole is right where he needs to be after the touchdown by the Chemics in their first possession in overtime. Right there, Midland, the Chemics are crowned the 1991 city champions, in addition to, depending on the type of play that takes place over in Saginaw tonight, they were tied, by the way, for the league lead with Saginaw Arthur Hill at 5-1. Saginaw Arthur Hill was playing Saginaw High tonight. If Arthur Hill loses, the Chemics stand alone atop the Saginaw Valley League. If Arthur Hill beats Saginaw, they again share the title for Saginaw Valley League champions. So, guys, your impressions quickly, and my golly, if that don't spend your imagination, nothing's gonna.
Well, I think that just about says it all right there. And if you got to watch the game, you can see the Chargers meeting at midfield here, just consoling each other a little bit. Coaches going over the game, what a wonderful game they played and the effort they made. They just sucked it up, Randy, when they had to. You know, they had some injuries, and guys came back tonight to play maybe 80-85% or whatever. They're taking nothing away from the Chemics' effort, but the Chargers came out with one heck of an effort tonight, and Midland speaks for themselves. Well coached, obviously. They fundamentally don't beat themselves, and they were in the ball game the whole way. They knew what they had to do, and they came out and did it when it counted.
Big play. The defense stuffed them at the 1-yard line. They had 1st and 10 at the 5. The defense for Midland High, why they're ranked number 1, stopped Dow, and they had it. Dow had a fake kick to get down there, a double reverse.
Yep. Just some tremendous plays.
And you kind of look for it out of Coach Aldemore once in a while, some of those plays. But when Coach Gary Joswak pulled one off like that, I mean, the whole crowd was stunned to see it.
Here you see in the play again as Cronkite hits Jason Falk just before he throws, and you can see it was enough to knock him down before he throws. It's a tough way for Jason to end it. There's not a Charger in that area. There's just nobody there. He was hit, just couldn't throw the ball where he wanted to. He wanted to go into the end zone.
His guy was open up in the
corner of the end zone, but he was a good 15-20 yards from that hit. Tough way for Jason to end his senior year, excuse me. But I've enjoyed watching Jason. He's a tremendous athlete, and what a gutty performance tonight. He just didn't have the quickness from the pocket tonight like he has in the past, but he's an enjoyable guy to watch. We were down in the field with him watching him warm up, and he throws the ball tremendously well. He's got a big-time arm.
Yes, he throws the ball well. I mean, a couple of those passes were really nice, and we get to smile and wave on TV here.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. I have an opportunity right to my immediate left, or for you folks viewing your television, this is my pal and partner, companion, Greg Sovey. Thanks. You doing that swim meet with me?
Doing the swim meet.
Are you really?
Oh, are you asking me to?
I might right now.
I'll have to ask my wife, but oh, yeah, I am.
Randy Boynton, we haven't had a chance to get in front of the camera much because of Mother Nature copping attitudes most of these ball games, but without you guys, I stand up here and talk to myself, which I do all day long anyway, so it's great to have somebody else to share my thoughts with. But guys, if I have to nutshell this one, I think I said it before it even started. This is my cohort and counterpart in crime, my Bodge. He just finally did show up. We found him, by the way. He was with his friend. This is exactly why high school athletics, and at the level that we're able to play it in Midland, Michigan, and see it played with the tremendous athletes that not only go to Division I schools, but you get your Central Michigan in the MAC, you get your NIAA, and over at Northwood and Saginaw Valley, and a lot of the good quality competition where these athletes that are being recognized in Midland get a chance to go. If you haven't had an opportunity as a fan to get involved in the energy that goes down when you pack some 9,000 folks into, and this is the lost purse, so we'll get to that later in case during one of the rebroadcasts you happen to hear your name. We might want to give that to the PA announcer if he's around. But anyway, maybe I'll just shorten my point here. Thanks, guys. If you don't attend it, even on a regular basis, you've got the winter sports coming up, which includes gymnastics, wrestling, basketball, girls volleyball, all of the activities that these two fine schools put out some great athletes for your enjoyment. Support high school athletics because, folks, if this doesn't get you geared up for what the young people of America are making attempts to strive and be creative and do this type of thing, you're looking down the wrong alley for what the youth of America are capable of, and in this town certainly show it on a regular basis in their extracurricular activities. And they're all, in addition to this, folks, needing to carry the grades to schools to be eligible to play these sports. This is above and beyond the call of duty, and they'll bring it to you as exciting as any place else in the country you can go.
Midland's a very fortunate community to have two high schools with a rivalry like this. Most communities aren't big enough to support two, Class A schools of this magnitude, and what a rivalry it's become. Obviously, Midland very lopsided in the win column, but the games don't get any better than it was tonight.
Midland's lucky to have all the sports that involve women, men, boys, all the volleyball and stuff, all the money. So definitely get out and support them.
That's a great point by our executive producer, Mickey Midland. Midland's lucky to have us. Again, thanking our volunteer staff, about 12 of us anyway, putting this. We've been here since noon today, getting you the multi-camera shoot, the slow-mo, and the graphics. Thanks, everybody. Ron Brown, our executive producer, our producer Bob Granstra, just in from Cleveland. Whew, no kidding. And filling in while Bob was away was Bob Cuthbert, and Bob will be helping us out with the swim meet the other night. Once again, my name's Dale Robbins. For Greg Sovey and Randy Boynton and all the folks and places and businesses and athletes especially involved in tonight's contest, the Midland City champions for 1991, our Midland Chemics. The final score, 13-6. Best of luck to the Chemics in the playoffs. Keep an eye on the paper for all the information. Good night, everybody.
Put your leaves in clear plastic bags.